All right. Welcome to the live stream. Streaming on Military Retirement Podcast on the Green Logbook, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, all over the place. What's up? Go ahead.
Welcome back. Yeah. A slight pause for effect there.
Slight pause for effect. Yeah. Started a little bit later, right? Normal, little later than normal, but we're here. We're alive. We're good. So thank you all for joining us. Tony Slaughter. Yeah, what's wrong? Do we need a 9-line Casovac? No, not today.
Not yet.
And please don't fill that out. Not yet.
Not yet.
All good. So, job, man, how's the week going?
Oh, I'm jet lagging like crazy this whole week. It's been 9-hour time difference and 7-hour time difference and 9-hour time difference and 7-hour and 6-hour. Then back here.
Oh, hell no, man.
It's been crazy, man. I was on your time zone for a while there.
Yeah. So let me put my lighting down here a little bit. So how? First off, welcome to America. Good to have you. Good to have you for a few days at least.
The tacos were good. The tacos were delicious.
Where did you go have tacos?
I can't even remember, man. I went to a couple places. We Googled it. A couple different places. I went to one that was famous in the Vegas area. I think they have 2 or 3 locations and maybe a location in Los Angeles. And they're pretty much famous in Vegas for birria tacos and birria quesadillas.
Hell yeah, dude.
So those were pretty good.
Birria is good. It can get a little messy though.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah, it's really good. The first time I never had birria before. We actually went to a place to go have that in here near San Diego in Imperial Beach, and a little birria place out there. And I had that before, and then they brought this whole bowl full of broth. It looked like,
yeah.
I'm like, I've never had that before. I'm like, how do I eat this?
Do I drink this? What is this? This is my drink.
So we had that, and then that place had birria pizza, if you can believe that. I don't know how they accomplished that, but it was quite tasty. Quite tasty.
Yeah. So that's actually what they call the birria pizza, but to me it's a quesadilla. So
okay. No, this was like a straight up pizza sized quesadilla is what it was. It's insanely huge. But needless to say, I didn't finish all of it.
That'll be a really good idea to put birria meat on a pizza.
Hey, you know what? In Italy, so people probably don't have that out there.
They don't have anything like that here.
Oh yeah, there you go. It's kind of like how you ordered pizza in Japan. It's not the same as here, or as the States
on it, right?
They put mayonnaise and I mean, you can get it how you want. Different places have different ways, but yeah, the one time I ordered a pizza, it was like oh god, I forgot what the hell it was. It was one of their specialties, like a Hawaiian pizza or something. They put mayonnaise on it, and I'm like, no.
Bad enough you put that damn pineapples on there.
Yeah, no. Hey, you know what? I mess with the pineapples, dude. I do like the pineapples on there. I'm a fan of those. So I know traditionally it's not the way pizza is supposed to be, but I do mess with the pineapples. Yeah. There is what was it? What was I gonna mention? When I was in Japan at one point, I had ordered this plate, man. It looked so good. It was like meat and with the noodles and all that stuff in this broth. I was like, oh, it looks so good. And they prepared it for you right there. And then the lady cracks an egg on it. A raw egg. I'm like, no. Why? Why'd you do that? Like, cause that's how they eat it out there. You mix it up. But I'm like, no, I'm not a big fan of that. So
Yeah, I like the raw
Yeah,
eggs on noodles. I think that's a pretty good deal. I even and even better is if you get like the ramen with
yeah.
the boiled egg, but they boil it in a way that it
Mhm.
takes the color of the like the soy sauce, I think, or the broth.
Yeah, yeah. That's good stuff. Let me adjust my lighting here, man. It's gonna give me a little bit of a headache. But yeah, man, it's funny how different cultures make all those different things, and then how we adapt to those. Like the spiciness. Like
Yeah.
my kid didn't really like spiciness until I started getting it, and then just adding it into his stuff. Like when we go to eat
Mm.
Thai, like, hey, give me the spice level, and it used to be like two,
Yeah.
and then it's like, let's hike it up to 4 and 5, and then so he's just used to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
cranking up the spice level in the States. Went to a back in St. Louis when I went to visit my mom and my sister, and we went to stop by a wing place, a new place that I've never heard of called Atomic Wings.
Atomic Wave.
Um,
That doesn't sound fun.
it was, it was amazing. It was amazing. I got everything up to the just before the top level of hot sauce, and that was kind of my upper limit, at least for that day. I was like, let
Mhm.
me just take it easy today. It was my first time here, so let me just get some of these and then get some dry rubs and see how it goes. And it was pretty
Yeah,
hot. It's pretty spicy.
yeah. Dude, speaking of hot wings, they have this place over in Newport, Rhode Island. It's called the Brick Alley Pub. And those who are in the Navy, who maybe have been stationed in Newport, Rhode Island, or maybe went to OCS out there, know what I'm talking about. Brick Alley Pub, right? Really cool place. Right off I'm sure I'm pronouncing the wrong Thames Street, but I'm sure it's pronounced Tim's Street. Like this nice old New England cobblestone street, really nice. You walk into this place, it's got like a fire truck on top of like the sign outside,
Hmm.
and so a buddy of mine had ordered something like that, like the atomic wings or whatever the hell they call it out there, and we're I'm eating like a burger or something, like just something regular, right? Like I'm TAD out there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting anything crazy because I'm within the TAD bounds of whatever the meal rate is.
Don't need disaster
So
pants either.
no, no, hell no, man. So this dude, the guy I'm with, and it's three of us out there going out to eat, and then one of the dudes like, yeah, I'll try the atomic wings or whatever, and the lady's like, all right, like her voice just kind of like, yeah, and I'm asking like, do people not get atomic wings often? She's like, well, we have like a wall of photos of people who finish them. There's not a lot of photos, man.
Wall of fame.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm waiting, and I mean, the lady brings it out. You can smell the
Yeah.
stink on this thing, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit, man. So the dude's eating them. He starts eating one. They're like so crusted. It looks like coral, dude. And
Hmm.
he eats it, and he's like, oh, like his tongue is burning, and his hands are all like full of the shit, and he's like, ah, his eyes are watering. He goes, ah, on his eyes. I could have sworn it probably gave him the same sensation as getting sprayed with CS gas in the face
Basically.
or CS spray.
Yeah.
He had to go to the bathroom. He was like, his eyes were completely red. I'm like, why would you do that? Like he wasn't thinking. He wasn't thinking.
Don't touch your eyes.
Hot wings.
Don't
No,
ever.
don't touch your eyes after atomic wings. Lesson
It's
learned.
funny. It's funny, Tony, you should mention Persian food, man. I had a ton of Persian food when I was home. I made some gourmet sabzi from scratch, like completely chopped up all the vegetables and all the parsley and all the stuff and made it from scratch and came out really good, and ate some other good Persian food. But yeah, Persian restaurants are hard to come by, but if you can find a good one, get something there, try it out, and see how you like it. They have a thing that they do with rice. It's called tadik, where they basically cook the rice in a pot, and then they poke holes in the rice and they pour either oil or butter or both into the pot through the holes, and then they let the bottom kind of fry and get crispy and golden, and it's delicious if you ever get a chance. It's very
But
similar.
you
to
are
Indian
Persian, aren't
food.
you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you have that in your background. So you know exactly what you're talking about then.
Yeah. It's very similar to Indian, like northern Indian food is really, really, really similar. Yeah. Kubi Day. Yep, had some of that, and I made the gourmet sabzi.
Oh man,
some kebabs.
don't get me started, dude.
Delicious. Yeah,
don't get me
really
started.
close to Northern Indian food.
Yeah, there's I had Indian food last night. It was delicious. I always go with like the tandoori chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken tikka masala, chana masala, sag. I didn't know what sag was at first. I'm like, I had a buddy of mine. He's like, hey man, you should get the sag. I'm like,
That's
fucking
doesn't sound tasty.
Yeah, no, it was delicious, dude. Delicious. Is the spinach. I'm like, oh man, with some garlic naan. Oh man, but yeah, I got to try some of that Persian food, man. I do.
Yeah, man. If you ever get a chance, it's really good.
Yeah, and it was kind of yesterday. I went to a place called. It was named something Himalayas.
Okay.
And I'm like Himalayas, and then I figured Himalayas like Nepal, right? I'm like, let me try some Nepalese food or whatever, and but it was just Indian food, and I guess it's like some region of India that is part of the Himalayas. I don't know. So I'm like, hey, let me just try this. But yeah, man, good stuff, man. Oh, don't get me started on food, dude. I can talk about this stuff all day.
I'm hungry.
Well, it's nighttime for you over there, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to be eating dinner after the podcast. We'll do that.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
See, it's 8 in the morning for me here. 8:26.
Time for bacon and eggs.
Yeah, for real, man. Bacon and eggs that my kids don't freaking clean after the fact. Let me see here real quick. I want to give a shout out to, I just saw something. Balin, Maine. Hello, John and Vic. I am a retired military Marine. How are you all today? Doing well, man. Doing well. Man or ma'am. I don't know who you are, but Balin, Maine. Thank you very much. Welcome to the podcast. U.S. Army Grunt, good to have you. Hello, John and Vic. I hope you both are having a great weekend and day so far. Yes.
So far, so good.
Let me tell you something that threw me for a loop, and then we'll get into to some lessons learned here as per our thumbnail. So this week, same as you, I'm in school, and was Wednesday night, and of course I leave things to the last minute, right? I'm doing stuff. I'm doing research for a discussion question that I have. And I'm typing up the discussion question. I'm 400 words in, dude. And I'm like, that's only like what, 2 paragraphs or something, 2 or 3 paragraphs. But I have been doing research and citing things, scientific papers and all that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do good. Drop this thing by I don't know 8 p.m. Wednesday, and then I go to reload the page. As soon as I drop that thing, as soon as I upload it, go to reload the page cannot be found. And I'm like, what? Okay. And I go out to the portal, the whatever school portal is that shows all your classes, your grades and all that stuff. That class is completely gone from my portal, dude. And it doesn't show up. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So I email the tech support and all that stuff. Of course, I don't hear from them until the next day. And they're like, oh yeah, there's a glitch in the system. It's not that you're dropped from the class. It's that your teacher has redone the entire curriculum for the class. So that discussion question that you just did, it doesn't count. It's not even part of the new curriculum. I was like, son of a bitch.
Huh.
Dude, I was so pissed, man. I'm like, okay, well, I learned a little something, but about organizational behaviors, but to do all that work, man, and I'm like, I could have been doing something else, man.
Yeah.
I could have been playing bocce ball, I could have been doing something else, dude.
Yeah, schoolwork will get you, man. It's I literally have a document sitting on my desk right now that I've been working on for about a week. On and off, and trying to finish it up for next week. Next week's the final week for my class.
Yeah.
And just trying to find the bandwidth and the space to be able to sit down and focus for, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours at a time. I get up pretty early in the morning. This week it's been crazy because I haven't been able to get up as early as I want to, but
Hmm.
Just jet lagging. But other than that, I usually get up pretty early and try to work on it in the morning, first thing in the morning. And then I try to block off a little time during the day, but it's just been crazy getting back into routines and getting back to the house and reacquainting myself. What do they call it? Reintegration training with my wife
Back in the saddle training.
after being gone for 2 weeks. So
Oh no.
yeah, so it's been crazy.
Yeah, yeah, I
So,
understand that. So, I
Reaper edits.
how what is your oh, there you go. Reaper edits. You guys are part of the US Army. Is that a statement? Am I now part of the Army?
Cool. You're an
Reaper edits.
honorary Army warrant officer.
All right. Well, thank you, Reaper Edits, for making me a part of the US Army. Thank you.
Like Chuck
Uh,
Norris.
man, I love messing with people like that. Dude. So I wanted to ask you, man, when it comes to focus, when it comes to like, especially for school, for reading, things like that, when it comes to focus, what does your environment look like? Like, do you need complete silence? Do you do better at a desk or on a couch or um, how do you maintain focus when you're actually doing stuff like schoolwork?
Yeah, it's tough, especially lately. We have a really regimented schedule with the dog now. We've got to give medicines and stuff at certain times of the day.
Hmm.
So that kind of breaks up the day into like 2 hour chunks either way.
Yeah.
When I study, I like to study in a semi-quiet space, which usually means I'm at the desk. It's the best place that I can study. I can't study on the couch. I mean, I can, but then I get lazy and I get lethargic and stuff if I sit on the couch or if I sit in a really comfortable position. So I like to sit at the desk where I'm sitting up straight,
Hmm.
working on my posture, my horrible posture. And then
Oh gosh.
I really, if I have to, I'll throw in the AirPods and I'll put them in noise cancellation mode. And then I have a couple different random meditation apps that I use, and I'll just use an unguided meditation. And I'll turn it down real low. So I'll have
Hmm.
that playing instead of like a white noise or a pink noise or something like that. I'll have that playing in the background with the
Hmm.
noise cancellation on. So it's not always great because I can't hear everything that's going on around me. Like it totally blocks everything out. But
Yeah.
if I really need to focus, that's what I end up doing is putting on some meditation music and sitting at my desk and have the stuff open and I try not to get up for too many breaks. And I try to go for about 45 minutes to an hour at a time before I get up and walk to the bathroom or whatever. I like to block it off like that.
See, that's good to know because it's been horrible for me, dude. And I think what do you do, like the Pomodoro technique?
Something kind of like that, yes, where it's like 45 on, 15 off.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Yeah. I try to
Use
stick
like a
to something
timer.
close to that. Because if I go too
Yeah.
long, then I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, well, maybe something needs to be done, or I need to help around the house, or I need to do something, run and get something. Like I don't want to completely isolate myself. But at the same time, I need to block off that time so I can focus for at least a block of time. And
Yeah.
that's what really, because if that gets interrupted, then I'm like, ugh, and then I get up and then I walk away and then I don't do anything else the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it, man. So I bring that up because I am trying to find new ways of focusing. Focusing is so difficult, man. Short attention spans is so used to seeing like watching like YouTube shorts where it's like spurts of information
Yeah.
or bursts of information where it's like uh, I'm so used to that now. And as I'm doing like schoolwork, I'm good for like 10 minutes of intense study and then I got to get up, man. I got like, and that's been me for the longest time. Like I got to do something else for like 5 minutes, just get up, walk around, stare outside, do something else, and then sit back down. But then I always have to have my hands doing something. I need to
Yeah.
drink something. I need to have like I have a bowl of not a bowl, the little packages of trail mix. Just constantly munching on the trail mix or something. So I'm trying to get away from that. And if you read like Atomic Habits,
Yep.
like the habit forming. Um, whenever I tend to want to get up out of my chair after studying, I will pinch my forearm, and that's like telling me, "All right, sit back down, continue studying. So I'm trying to build a habit by doing that.
Hmm.
And so it's something as simple as that. And it kind of like re-engages my brain, like, oh, okay. Reminding myself, all right, maybe don't go reach for trail mix right now. Maybe to just sit up and then get back into it. So it's tough, man. And I've been reading around Reddit. People are like, "Hey, how do you all do like the school stuff, man? After getting out, GI Bill and all that stuff. How do you all? It's fun when you think about you have all these benefits, but then when you have to actually put those in action and shift into that mindset,
Yeah.
school's not fun, dude. It's not always fun.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get myself into that mindset.
And there's been a couple of times where I had to take a break on my VRNE stuff. Like I told my counselor, my VRNE counselor, like, hey, the next 2 months I got a bunch of stuff going on. It's going to be hectic. I don't really have time
Yeah,
for class. I don't want to ruin anything and take a class and then fail the class. So he's like, yeah, just whatever, take your own pace. Like you got 4 years worth of benefits to use, so you don't have to rush
Mhm.
through it. We just turn off your benefits at this point, and then whenever you're ready, start the next class, and you put it in the waiver thing or whatever, and then just continue on. It's like that, not that big of a deal for me. I try not to beat myself up too much, and I have been since I've been in the States and since I was there, traveling and doing some other stuff. I spent a lot of time trying to get back into like meditation, 10-minute blocks, 20-minute blocks of meditation, so I can start to refocus my brain because I haven't done that for quite a while. And
Mhm.
I feel like that is what pulls me away from the kind of TikTok sensation, the doom scrolling and the quick
Oh, yeah.
hits of dopamine, is meditation. And the longer I can do meditation, the more I have the patience and the mental space to be able to kind of focus in and look at what I'm doing. But it's still really hard because there's so many distractions, and it's not even anybody else. It's myself distracting myself in a lot of cases. And that's why whenever I have to study, like I'll let everybody know, like, hey, today is the day, like even if it's 1 or 2 hours here and there, today is the day I need to
Mhm.
sit down and like really hit the books because I'm a little bit behind or I have a big project due or something like that.
Now, do you ever do meditation out in public?
I do. I've done it many times in public. When I was
What does
really
that look like?
when I was doing it every single day, I would do it probably 2 or 3 times a day, and it was about
Mhm.
20 to 40 minutes at a time. And I remember being like when I was still in active duty, being TDY somewhere or something like that, even waiting at the airport, I would just literally go find because I like to lay down when I meditate. So I lay flat on the ground and
Yeah.
I kind of just put my hands across my chest and I just sit there and I breathe. I close my eyes and I breathe and I maybe have a unguided meditation in the background, or maybe it's a guided meditation, just depends on what I feel like doing.
Mhm.
But if I have nothing, I can sit there in silence and I just lay there on the ground and I do some box breathing or something like that, like controlled breathing
Yeah.
for at least 5 minutes to get my heart rate down to where it needs to be. And then after that, I kind of let it just do its thing. But I've done it like literally in the middle of an airport at one of the gates waiting for a plane for a couple hours.
Yeah. And that's what I was gonna ask too is, how in depth do you go? Because I know some meditation is like, are you sitting there cross-legged home, or are you just doing box breathing? And that's what
Yeah.
I do as well. The box breathing or just, clearing the mind
Yep.
and just inhaling, exhaling, that type of thing. Because I thought to myself, I was in a very busy cafe. I went with my daughter. She likes to go to cafes to do her homework. So I'm like, hey, let me tag along. It was very busy. And, I was her ride there. We just went together. So um, I don't like the loud noise that some of
Mhm.
these restaurants bring, right? If it's a diner setting, fine, but I mean, this one was a little bit overwhelming. Some people brought kids in, and there was a lot of chatter, and I'm like, shit, like this is really messing with me. So the same thing, I popped these little earbuds in that I have,
Yep.
and I just kind of took some breath. I put my sunglasses on. I mean, we were sitting by a window anyway, so I didn't look on anything weird. Mind you, I don't really care what people think anyway. So I'm like, okay, well, let me put my sunglasses on and just breathe because this thing is getting overwhelming. I'm here for my kid. Let me just breathe. So there are ways to do that when life becomes overwhelming in daily life, like anywhere you go. You could be, I don't know, name somewhere a freaking dog show. I'm just
Yeah.
throwing something out there. And there's ways to do that. There's ways
Yeah.
to do it. And
I mean, the thing
I've
about it
seen,
really is,
yeah.
and I didn't mean to cut you off, but the thing to
Oh, go
really
ahead.
think about it is just, it's like anything. Like if you've never done it before, you
Hmm.
have to start somewhere. And if that's 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, like you have to start somewhere. Just do that and be content with that and walk away from it
Yeah.
and then go back and revisit it again tomorrow or in the evening or whatever designated time you feel like doing it. And then as far as doing it out in public, like you just have to put yourself out there and practice it. I got to the point where I was doing meditation so much when I was on active duty that I would do it in the morning before PT started. So I would go there early, about 15, 20 minutes early, be there before pretty much everybody else. And I would
Yeah.
go find like a PT mat or something or a quiet space on the ground. And I would just lay there and do meditation for 10 or 15 minutes before we go do PT. And I remember specifically one day I was doing it. I was on a PT mat, one of those little foam mats, and I was just laying there in the gymnasium waiting for everybody to get in there. And lo and behold, somebody came over and was like saying something to me. And I was totally in the meditation.
Yeah.
I heard the noise, but my brain didn't acknowledge the noise as something I need to respond to. And
Mhm.
then at some point, somebody else came over and was like, I don't know, is he dead? And I like again, I heard it, but I wasn't paying attention to it.
He's dead, but
And
he's
then
doing box breathing.
the next thing I know, the other guy that came over, jumped up in the air and landed his foot right next to my head, right, just to kind of
Yeah.
jar me out of what I was in. And I literally didn't move. I literally just laid there. I didn't flinch, nothing. I just laid there. I continued for another 5 or 10 minutes. Got up, walked over, and the guy was like, "Are you okay, man? Because like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Like I didn't realize if you were doing something." I was like, "Yeah, I was just meditating." He's like, "Oh man, I'm really, really sorry. Like I didn't mean to come over there and interrupt you." I was like, "It's cool, man. That's why I do the meditation, so I don't have to get upset, so I don't have to
That
get
dude
pissed
said he
off."
didn't mean to do that.
Yeah,
Like
he was
he,
like, "Man, I'm really
come
sorry.
on.
Like I didn't." And this is like a bunch of medical people, by the way. Like the whole
Yeah.
unit was medical people. So it was just funny. It was good. I had a laugh with him and I was like, don't worry about it. I was just meditating. He's like, you were deep into it. I was like, yeah, it's the whole point. Like get into it to the point where nothing
Mhm.
like bothers you.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't worry about it, dude. It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't know that I would have had the same reaction you would have had if
Exactly.
somebody stepped near my head while I'm
Yeah.
meditating.
He literally jumped up in the air and like landed his feet right next to my head.
Yeah. Like one foot on each side. So,
Nah, just
you're
on
like,
the one.
don't open your eyes. Yeah. That's it.
Punch straight up.
Just, that's it. Dude, I've had, so when I used to go TDY, one of my favorite places to go TDY was Charlottesville, Virginia. For one, it's a beautiful place. And for two, we would stay at this hotel right next to the University of Virginia. And every morning we'd have, um, well, every couple times a week, we'd do like organized PT at the soccer fields. They have these nice soccer fields, like turf fields, right there at UVA. And man, beautiful place, man. And I'd show up extra early, and my meditation was always dribbling a soccer ball
Yeah.
since I was young. Since I was young, just dribbling. I put on my earbuds. Oddly enough, these earbuds have been with me for probably 6 years, something like that. So I would throw on these exact earbuds, and there's nobody around. There's maybe like a couple old folks, maybe running around, maybe like the cross country team up early in the morning or whatever.
Yeah.
But just throw on, you know, uh, some classical music. There's one that I really like. It's called Por una Cabeza. Um, Kind of like a classical type of maybe a kind of flamenco type of feel. Spanish guitar type of feel.
Yep.
So I throw that on, dribble the soccer ball, and that'd be my meditation, man, in the morning. It was like nobody around, just me and just my movements. Oh man, I miss it so much. Like I don't live next to a soccer field now, so I miss that so much, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something that people don't really realize, and we've probably talked about it many times, but it doesn't have to be like sitting on a cushion, sitting in a quiet room with candles burning, and you chanting your mantra. Like it's one type of meditation. There's so many different types of meditation. There's walking meditations. If you look up a book by Thich Nhat Hanh, Thick, Thich Nhat Hanh, and he's got a book called Walking Meditations, I believe is what it's called, the title, if I'm correct. Feel free to fact check me on that. But there's so many different kinds of meditations, and a lot of times moving meditations, like you mentioned, dribbling the soccer ball, people who do pottery, people who sculpt things, people who paint, people who play guitar. If you're into working on cars, like turning wrenches is a form of meditation. It's something that takes you out of the moment that you're in and takes you out of the reality that you're in and blocks it off for a certain amount of time to where you're only laser focused on the one thing that you're doing. That's why people that do boxing or MMA or jiu-jitsu or any of those kind of martial arts or fighting arts, they do a very similar thing. Like they get in the ring, they get in the zone, and they are 100% laser focused on their task, which is, take down the opponent or punch the bag as many times as they got to punch it, or whatever it happens to be for the training or the actual event. Same with cross-country runners, sprinters, people who do track and field, other kinds of sports. It doesn't necessarily have to be sitting down or laying down in a quiet space, breathing. Like you can do meditation at any given time. You just have to understand yourself enough to understand what that's like. Like me, I can pick up a pair of drumsticks and go sit on a drum kit and play for 3 hours. And that for me is a form of meditation as well, right? Just being in the groove, jamming through. I don't hear anything else from the outside world, and I totally zone out. Same with cooking sometimes. Sometimes I'll zone out when I'm cooking.
Yeah. I love that, man. And folks in the comments, man, please, if you have something that you use as meditation, let us know. Put it in the comments. I know for me specifically, man, like I like to write every night in my journal, and I write in cursive. All my pages are in cursive, right? Like I tilt the page, the notebook sideways, and I write it in cursive. And that's part of my meditation, is not only getting the words out there, but actually working on the fluidity of my strokes and actually getting the cursive as good as it can be. So that's always been my thing. Like I've always liked to write in cursive. Regular script is fine, but for my own journals, I just like that, and it kind of gives kind of a meditative practice to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Mo Perspective has it too, because I do the same thing. Driving with no sound sometimes is my meditation. Yeah, no sound, just listening to the AC, or where the tire spinning or whatever. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. John, I know you're a big fan of stoicism and all that. And I've been reading recently. I've been taking this thing everywhere I go because I just have been rereading it again and going over this one right here, Seneca on the Shortness of Life.
Yep.
Rereading this one and just underlining it, because the first time I went through it, I didn't really underline too many things. And this time, there was one little passage on here that I underlined. It says, "The energies of lions and other animals are restricted by cages, but not of men, whose finest achievements are seen in retirement." And it's if you have the book, it's on page 77. But that kind of spoke to me, man. It was like, wow, like what do the cages look like? And I attribute the cages, or I compare the cages to being something like a 9 to 5, like or a job. right? Like a job that maybe like the military. You can there's left and right lateral limits on what you can do, what you can say, but once you are retired, you are not bound by those cages. Not to say that you are literally in the cage, like you are still have freedoms. But once you are not bound by thinking about those missions all the time and your battle rhythm all the time, you have time to explore something new. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that passage, man.
That's an interesting one. I don't actually remember reading that in the book. I have the book. Where's
You got
it at?
the same exact one here?
Yeah, it's the same exact with the embossed kind of lettering on the front.
Yeah, the
It's
Penguin
sitting
books.
basically up there on the shelf.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
page
bought that book
77, man.
back in 2012, 2010, maybe. I don't know. It was a long time ago when I bought that book.
Mhm.
And I picked it up. It was part of a 60-day kind of reading program where you'd basically hit a book every single day.
Yeah.
And that was one of the books. And that was one of the ones out of all the books. There was probably like 5 or 10 books total that were in that kind of pile of books that were just the ones that you would that I think you should keep with you and read at least once a year on a
Yeah.
regular basis over and over just to try to internalize it. That particular passage is, yeah, I agree with what you say, that you're bound by the cage of your surroundings and the cage of your routine. And once you retire, which is can be one thing for one person, one thing for another person. But if you retire, generally speaking, that means not doing any more work, not going to work anymore, doing your own thing, maybe gardening, maybe whatever it happens to be. Once you release that cage of habit from your work life, then you're free and unbound to do basically what you want to do. But you got to be careful because then depending on the personality that you have, you may be the kind of person who has to create another cage around yourself by virtue
Yeah.
of habit or routine or whatever it is. If you jump out of the military and you go straight back in the next day to your same office, but you're wearing civilian clothes in the GS,
Yeah.
12 position,
Back in the cage.
that's one form of staying in the cage, right?
Yeah.
And it's cool because they reference that. There's a lot of references to like fighting and animals and stuff like that. And then even those references get pushed into something like In the Arena with I think it was Teddy Roosevelt. One of the speeches that he had, or one of the little quotes that he had, was like about being in the arena. It all has to revolve around that kind of dichotomy of freedom and entrapment, right? Whether it's in a
Right.
fighting situation, or if you're in an actual cage, or if you're in slavery or not in slavery, or if you're being held captive by a dictatorial ruler over your country. Like there's many different forms of. But I think the one that you got to be the most careful with is the cage that you put around yourself. Like that's the most dangerous one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And when I read that, I thought to myself, okay, yeah, I left a cage, the military, retired about 2.5 years ago. And then I immediately went into the contracting gig. I'm like, I bound myself by more cages, where I have to conform to the standards of being here on time and doing this. I mean, you want to be places on time, but when you're trading your time for pay, you are bound by those cages, by the rules of the cage. So yeah, I agree exactly what you mean, like jumping straight into another job. Now, it's not wrong at all. I mean, if that's your life plan, do that. Jump into a job. I know a lot of people who do that shit. I did it myself when I left the military. However, the freedoms that have been that I've experienced by not having that is incredible. It is incredible. By not having by thinking, okay, maybe I don't need to chase a title. Like I was looking for it, as soon as I got out, I was looking for like director positions, and then just any type of. Now, not looking for that anymore, man. I might even go apply at Lowe's for the garden center, dude, because it does give you
Yeah.
some freedoms, right?
Yeah, and I think the thing with it is it's not necessarily people want to be constant. Well, some people do. Some people want to be
Mhm.
constantly moving, constantly. If they're not moving, then they're not doing anything, and that looks like
Yeah.
non-productive work. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of people have that tick. I'm not one of those people. I will sit down and be relaxed for hours on end, all by myself, doing absolutely nothing. But I still have the drive to be good at what I do. But I feel like there's this really large abyss between freedom and like being bound to a job or a relationship or whatever it happens to be on the other
Right.
end. And I think the thing that keeps a lot of people from taking the dive and saying, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna let go of some of these responsibilities that are self-imposed responsibilities and try to
Mhm.
focus on what I need to focus on. I think there's this fear of the unknown on the other side of like, what does
Oh
that
yeah.
look like? What does that feel like? Am I going to be freaking out because I have nothing to do? Am I going to be having an anxiety attack? And it's the same thing that you experience when we hit the thing for isolation for COVID, right? A
Mhm.
lot of people experience the same kind of fear and anxiety where it was like, okay, well, yeah, I need to be at work and I need to go out and I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to go to the store. And then when you can't, then what do you do with your, as you say, what do you do with your hands?
Yeah.
Um,
What do you do with your
but,
hands?
but for an extended amount of time, right? For months and months and months.
Mhm.
And so I think some people have a fear of what's on the other side of doing nothing. What's on the other side of taking a break or taking a step back or just taking time for yourself.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have a fear of that.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. And hold on a second.
Yep.
I was at the library yesterday, and I picked up this book, and it was a kind of what you just brought up, like the COVID, and then um, COVID brought on some pretty incredible things. It created jobs, and a lot of folks left jobs. A lot of folks were let go. You know,
Yeah.
so there's this book that it just I pulled it out of the shelf, and I'm like, huh, this is pretty interesting. And it has a lot of statistics, behind it, kind of like the Pew Research type of thing. And it's called Men Without Work.
Mm,
Yeah.
that
So
sounds
I
like a
was,
great
yeah, very, very curious about it, because it was right next to another book. I got it somewhere around here, about the male loneliness epidemic.
time. Hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know where it's probably on my kitchen table somewhere. Um, I can't remember that. I'll get you the name of the information, the book, but Men Without Work. And it really is a bunch of explanations and graphs that go along with it. Figure 6, this time is different: personal consumption expenditures, disposable income, and personal savings, how much they dip, just a bunch of great information on here. I was just kind of flipping through here. Um, but very curious about it, how it affected folks, um, specifically like men as well. Not taken away from the women at all, but men. I think it hits them a little hard because they're seen as the providers. Men are seen as the providers of the house. For the most part, at least in historically, that's always the way it's been. And I thought, when somebody is out of work and not able to provide, how does that affect them? It's almost like your legs are cut out from under you. How does that affect you? And now, and doing some more research on that too, I found that um, women now are 40% in the U.S. are the breadwinners of their house. Which I always knew that there was working women. I didn't know that there was that big where it's almost equal. And they also are leading in women are leading in education over men. So these are all kind of eye-opening things that I never even thought to research about if it wasn't for classes.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of forced to research about this stuff, but very cool.
Yeah. I mean, women better at schoolwork. Just an N of one from my perspective here. Like my wife is on it when it comes to schoolwork. She's on it. She does it. She writes down notes. She's very meticulous. Me, I'm just kind of haphazard. I take notes and I do what I got to do, but I'm not as meticulous as she is. She is one tough cookie when it comes to studying.
Yeah, I'm there with you, man. I always told my wife, man, you are way smarter than I am.
Yeah,
and she is. I'm like a like a pug on the loose, man. I'm going all over the place, right? I got no direction sometimes, and she's the one that's like, hey, let's go this way. She's like the German Shepherd who knows the way home, and I'm the pug, kind of like all over the place,
breathing heavy.
Yeah, my nose is like between my fucking eyes. I say that because I had a pug, and I have a Chihuahua pug right now, which is kind of funny looking little dog, but
dangerous mix.
Yeah, very smart though, very smart. I'm sure that's the Chihuahua side of the dog. There's another thing that I underlined here, man. It's same book, right? Seneca on the Shortness of Life.
Yep.
If you apply yourself to study, you will avoid all boredom with life. You will not long for night because you are sick of daylight. You will be neither a burden to yourself nor useless to others. You will attract many to become your friends, and the finest people will flock about you to study, right? So I think as I read that, I thought about things like people who are experts in their field, or if you compare that to maybe YouTube, right? People flock to channels who talk about a specific thing, who are experts in a specific thing, right? Or in a niche thing. And I thought, hey, that does make sense. The more you study about that thing, the more popular you become in that arena. So a lot of good tidbits in here. And it's not a long read for anybody out there looking to get some good info.
Yeah, it's
Seneca on the Shortness of Life.
80 or 90 pages total. I forget how many
I'll
pages.
tell you right now, man.
It's literally like less than 100 pages.
I'll tell you what, with the extras and all that stuff, it comes out to right over 100. It's 105 pages, but that's like with
the forward and the credits.
Yeah. It's on the Shortness of Life, Consolation to Helvia, and On Tranquility of Mind. Good stuff, man. I really do enjoy that.
Yeah, I recommend every single person on planet Earth read that book.
Yeah. Really, and then that one that we talked about, how to become how to think like a Roman emperor. They're, of course, they're going through the whole thing with Marcus Aurelius and all that, and how he looked up to his mentor, Junius Rusticus, over what's his adopted father's name? Oh gosh, it's escaping me.
Hadrian,
yeah. How Hadrian, he was throwing a fit at a party, and he cut out a man's eye, and then he realized what he had done, and then apologized to the guy. I'm so sorry for scooping out your eye. He's like, what can I give you in return? As to say I'm sorry. The guy's like, I only want my eye back. I'm like, well, you can't really, I guess you can literally give the man his eye back, but you can't really give him his sight back. But how he was closer to Junius Rusticus than he was with Hadrian, and I would have never known that had I, not read about this stuff. You go to Italy, you go to Hadrian's Theater, he's done all these great things, but he was more of like a party guy. Him and what's the other guy? What's Aurelius's brother's name?
Good question.
It'll come to me, but he was more of a party guy, right? And he was he thought that he would outlive his brother Marcus, but he didn't. So it was pretty incredible, man. Plus that I'm listening to an audiobook version of that book, and the guy is Scottish, which is
Nice.
awesome. Awesome. I have to wear a kilt when I watch it. Scottish kilt.
Scottish
Or when I
kilt.
listen to it. Navy cop, what are you talking about, my man?
So many
I'm
comments.
just like,
So many comments we've been chatting.
sorry guys. I was in the zone there. I was focused on that. I had to get it all out. It was John and I really have this time that we talk about. We like text sometimes during the week, but then we tend to nerd out about things when we do talk.
Let's go to this one. You guys think it's a waste of time to do AI training? I don't think it's a waste of time to play around with AI. If you want to do AI training, we have what's the gentleman's name? We had him on the podcast. Kamo. I knew it started with a K. I just trying to remember the last part of it. Kamo. If you check out the episode that we did with him, he's got a great training program. He does a cohort every once in a while, and he'll invite people in. I think Navy Cop was part of one of his cohorts. I do not think it's a bad time to check out AI. AI is here. It's going to be part of our future for some time to come. It's not going anywhere. As much as people want to get rid of it, or they don't like it, or they think it's going to take all the jobs, or whatever your beef is with AI, it's not going anywhere, and it's continually getting better every single day. So if you play with it 3 months ago and you're like, it's all right, open it back up again today and play with it today and see what it's like. You'll see it's leaps and bounds better than it was 3 months ago, and it's just going to continue to go that direction. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I would agree with you, man. It is not a waste of time, Tony Slaughter. It is now becoming a way of life, the usage of it, to the point where, now schools are, or have been for quite some time, cracking down on this stuff.
Yeah.
So you can't really use it for school. Now, I've used it before when I have like writer's block, and I'm thinking like, hey, how, what else can I add to this? And I'm like, give me different perspectives. I never have it write me a paper. I'm like, give me different perspectives that I can use in an outline that I may have missed. So there's ways to use it, and it's not going anywhere. Schools are using the VA is now going to be using it, to well, we had I can't remember the gentleman's name, Jim from Tayback Law.
Yeah.
Tayback Law Group, just last week. And he had mentioned that the VA will be using the AI to identify people who have gone through these claim sharks, right? And who these claim sharks hire attorneys who use these canned responses for all these different disability claims that they do.
Yeah.
And now the AI will pick up on all those. I don't know what's going to happen with the vets who submitted those. Chances are they're either going to be looked at, investigated. I don't know if they're going to be taken away. I don't know. The time will tell. But AI is here to stay, man. It is.
Not going nowhere. Yeah, and plus we've had multiple people talking about AI. We had Dennis Spoon on with Veteran AI. He wrote a tool that helps people put together their letters to make the connection between service connection or not service connection. And now he's rolled it out to multiple organizations, VSO organizations who are using it, and supposed to be, I don't know if they finally did it or not, but supposed to be onboarding it with the VA so that it can be used in conjunction with claims stuff. I don't know all the details of it, and I've been tracking it a little bit, but I haven't been keeping up with it completely. But yeah, AI is here to stay. And as far as the school thing goes, it feels like to me, it's kind of like that thing where they're like, you better not use AI or we're going to take your grades away and we're going to give you, you're going to be, it's cheating. And I feel like it's one of those things where they can't really verify it. Like you can tell me you can spot AI a mile away, but it depends on how you prompt it. I mean, I can prompt it to do some pretty cool stuff. So,
dude, I'm telling you, I've written papers, and you as well as I know, we've written papers for school, and I mean they're pretty well written, cited, researched, and all that. And I throw it in Grammarly just to kind of give me, all the stuff like pronunciations and all that stuff. And Grammarly has this little tab on there that says AI catcher or whatever it is. If your stuff is AI or resembles AI, it'll tell you. Half my damn paper looks like AI. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Like it's not, but I don't know what to do with that. Yeah. So yeah. Let me see here. Oh, welcome, Brian Hahn. Welcome to the channel, man. Morning. Let me see here. Love yourself, BJ4SI. Buenos dias. Ohio gozaimasu. Good morning. Thank you, or thankful, grateful, and blessed for another day of reading. At daily activities equals peace of mind and tranquility. Semper Fidelis. Awesome. Ohio gozaimasu. Shoe e yokoso. Love yourself. That means welcome to the show. Good. Love yourself. Okay. Let me see. YouTube and Facebook have become unregulated platforms of AI slop these days. They aren't doing any sort of regulation beyond token mentions of regulation, curse of a big under-regulated platform. I will tell you that YouTube is demonetizing a lot of AI stuff. There was some kind of notice that came out saying that they're looking into this stuff because it has been so filled. Like, my kids are watching this AI shit. There was some dude who was like hugging a grizzly bear in a cave. I'm like, yeah, that's not a real thing. That my kid's like, Dad, look at this. I'm like, it's not real. Like, who the hell goes and hugs a grizzly? Like, it's not real. It has overtaken the algorithm, if that's what you watch, and you're going to be consumed by that stuff on your YouTube wall. So they're cutting down on it, thankfully, especially all these ones that use AI for, these videos, and then they have hundreds of thousands of views, and then it's like, bam, they're going to cut them off. Yeah. Now it's double-edged sword because that brings business into YouTube, but also it's not providing anything for the end user, I suppose. Yeah. So it is, maybe I'll do AI myself, and you'll see like an AI bot up here, and I'm just going to be using AI in my form to talk. How about that?
Or you can do like Tony Slaughter and make AI cat videos.
AI cat videos. No, man, I'm good, dude. I'm overwhelmed by that stuff a lot, man, and I gotta step away from all that trash sometimes. I'll tell you, the other day, John, man, I set my phone down in the garage. Well, I gave it to my kid. My kid set it down in the garage. The kid's like, hey, I want to listen to Spotify. I'm like, all right, cool. He puts the phone down on the garage floor, dude, of all places, and then goes inside. And I'm like, was there nowhere else to put it? All right. So I'm backing my car in there, and and of course, one thing leads to another. So I had to go get another phone. And yeah, literally, man, I was without a phone for like
AI generated, isn't
it? This was not AI generated. This was I had to go out and get a brand new phone. Right? Luckily, I had Apple stuff, or whatever it's called, Apple Care, and they hooked it up, right? But it took like 2 or 3 days because they didn't have it in stock. They're like, oh yeah, we can mail it to you and all that. I'm like, well, shit. What happens now? Do I get like a loaner phone or something? Like, no, we can't do that. Not for this incident. I'm like, well, I guess. So I missed some text messages. If anybody texts me, I know Brian, we talked a little bit about it, Brian Hahn. I missed a few text messages out there. So my bad. But, it really, having no phone for about 3 days, really, it gave me some of that FOMO. Like usually when I'm sitting on the couch there, I'm like, let me see who's on LinkedIn. Let me see what's going on. I usually just open it up. And I didn't have any of that. Like at first, the first day I did, I was like, oh shit, The next day, I'm like, I'm going. It felt like I was going into a war without my rifle. When I went out, I was like, I got nothing else. And so, like my kid has a phone that he doesn't use. It's kind of like my secondary phone that I had, and I gave it to him. But he went to school. He didn't bring it with him, so I'm like, oh, let me just charge this thing up, and I'll bring it with me. It's like an old iPhone SE, and just like I wasn't logged into any of my stuff. It just had his little games on there, just you know all his stuff, and it felt so freeing not to constantly check up on things. I text my wife. I'm like, hey, look, I got the boy's phone. Give me a text here if you need it, and that was it. That was it. So definitely, it feels good to do a detox every so often. I think I'm going to do that more often, man. Just kind of leave the phone at home, and if I'm out with the family, hey, if my wife has her phone on her, fine. Do I really need mine?
Yeah. Yeah, I did a little bit of that in the States from time to time where I was just putting the phone down, not touching it. And it makes me feel calm and it puts me at ease. I don't have any anxiety about not having the phone around. Yeah. I mean, yeah, is it bad if it goes away and do I have a bunch of stuff on it and maybe have my card or whatever on there for my wallet? So I can use that instead of my cards in my pocket. Okay, sure. It's a little convenience. Google Maps is always great to have. But
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world. Like it's really not. I did a few days on and off without my phone, and yeah, great. I mean, just especially if you're in a place that's like close to nature, or you got like a pond nearby or something like that, where you can just go and sit and chill in a really cool place.
Mhm.
Um, the phone thing just kind of goes out the window. And I've actually been doing a lot less checking of things. I usually check up on a bunch of stuff in the morning, and lately, especially this week, it's been a lot of just drink my coffee, sit down, chill, relax, listen to the birds, look at the trees, um, enjoy the silence at 6 in the morning or 6:30 or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, a lot of that lately, especially this week.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, man. Yep. Brian Hunt. I think humans are getting dumber due to too much screen time, AI reliance. And I tend to agree with you. People
Yeah.
believe everything that's out there, man. Um, yeah. I mean, I get folks that send me stuff on Facebook Messenger, or simply because I have like this platform, like
Yep.
the retirement podcast and the Green Logbook. People get a hold of me, like people I know from Facebook, right? And they'll send me stuff, and I'm like, this is not real. This is like duffel blog, or this is whatever, just like something else. Um, let's not believe everything that we read out there. It's okay. There's a thing called the Socratic method. You've heard of it, right? It's like
Yep.
you question everything, and it comes from Socrates. Socrates, who he was ultimately killed because you asked too many questions,
Yep.
and
Essentially.
yeah, he was put to death because of that. Um, but they teach that like in law school, and when I was doing the military justice gig in the Marine Corps, we talked a few times about that Socratic method and how you question everything and ways to look at different perspectives and question that. So, um, yeah, it's okay to ask, hey, is this stuff real? Like, don't just believe everything that somebody posts on Facebook or wherever you see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of eye-opening when I was in that first week in the States when I was in Vegas and just not even just being in Vegas, but getting there, like stepping off the plane, walking around, looking around, observing people a lot while I was there, and just
There are
behaviors
some
and
good people watching out there.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Plus you're there, and like I was there to go interact with some gaming companies and stuff like that, and just taking a more in depth look at like the gaming culture and like the slot machines and the card games and people randomly walking around on the streets and things that people were doing there. And I think even if you took away the I think people would still be highly interested in dumb shit. Period. I don't think that's ever going to go away, and I think it's been that way for millennia, centuries at least, where people are just gravitate towards the silly, funny kind of outworldly things. They want to be taken out of the here and now and the daily trudge, and they want to be I don't know, excited. They want to be surprised. They want to laugh. They want to get away from the daily grind, and they'll do pretty much anything to do that. And then if you take somebody and drop them in a place like Vegas, like it multiplies that by 100, right? Because they're like, oh well, I'm in Vegas now, so we can do whatever we want. Let's go get drinks. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and like let's do margaritas for breakfast. And like it's insane. It's insane to watch some of that, and it's just normal human behavior, I guess, but especially in that kind of a place, it's really, really amplified. So it was really interesting to watch people and just to see what they're doing and see how they act and see how they're dressing different and like the way they talk to each other. It was hilarious. It was a really, really interesting peek into America after not being there for a couple of years, just looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah, no, I get you, man. And Vegas is a great place for people watching, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants to be seen, that type of thing. I personally am not a big fan of Las Vegas. I think it's overstimulating, at least the strip is, and I am not a big fan of all the lights and all that stuff. And last time I was there, they were closing off some of the street for the race. They have some kind of
race.
The F1 races, right? So they're doing that stuff. And I'll tell you, John, when I went to the Apple store to go get this phone redone the other day, I was at the Apple store, and you check in. I checked in with this gentleman. This gentleman was in a wheelchair and all that, so I check in with him, and as I'm checking in with this gentleman, there is another guy to my right, and he's looking at some MacBook, and he's like, "Hey, is anybody going to help me? I got questions here." And then the guy looks up and he's like, "Sir, have you checked in already?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Well," and I'm thinking like, "Hey, dude, check in if you want some help, like don't just yell across the fucking store. Like, is anybody going to help me?" Everybody's helping somebody else,
Yeah.
And this guy's kind of like, "Is anybody going to help me? I've been standing here for whatever, a couple minutes. I got questions." And I'm thinking, so do I. Who cares, and then the guy tells me, "Hey, go to this table over here by the Genius Bar, and somebody will be there with you in a second." I go sit down. There's a guy sitting across from me. Right. We're not talking or anything like that. He's consumed in his iPad. And I had this little thing with me here. So I just opened it up and kept reading it. And he was there before me. So somebody comes and approaches him. "Sir, are you whatever your name is, Steve or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's me." He was an older gentleman. He's like, "So how can I help you?" And he's like, "Well, I wrote it in the notes when I made the appointment. You tell me." And he's like, the guy's like, "So I don't have the notes here." He's like, "Why? Why?" Like, he made this about that when he could have just said, "Hey, I'm here to buy a new phone or turn my phone in." And he was such an asshole, man. And it really took a lot for me. And I'm sitting there, I'm listening. I mean, there's no other way to do it. I mean, I'm sitting across from the guy. I had to hear it, and the guy's like, "You know what? Get me your manager. I want to, I'm like, "All right, this is one of those guys." So the guy starts complaining to the other guy about how dare they don't have his notes in the app or whatever, the app, after he put all his stuff in there. And now he has to re-explain what's going on. And I'm thinking, like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, just shut up. Just be quiet. Dude, just like, these guys are trying to help you out. Like, what are you making their life harder? So I had a conversation afterwards, after they got my stuff done, with the gentleman that checked me in. And I'm like, "Man, I'm sitting here and I'm watching all these different personalities of all these people at this Apple store. And mind you, this Apple store is at this very uppity mall.
Hmm.
Gucci, Louis Vuitton,
Go
all that
figure.
stuff. I hated being there, dude.
Yeah.
I hated being there because it seemed like everybody was there as a fashion show. Everybody was there to impress somebody else. And I literally sat drinking coffee while I was waiting for my phone for them to tell me, hey, we actually have to send this thing out or whatever. I waited for like an hour and I just sat there and did the same thing you did, people watching. And I wrote in my little notebook here. I'm like, okay, this guy looks like an asshole. This guy, I forgot how shitty people look at malls these days. Almost everyone as if they're trying to impress the next person, etc. So it was kind of eye-opening. It was good for people watching. But the attitudes of folks are incredible, man. And I told the guy, I was like, look, man, like God bless you guys, because you guys have to deal with some. I don't know how you guys do it, because I would not last a week here at this Apple store with these uppity people who think, hey, it's all about me, and the world revolves around them. No, man, that ain't me. So good for people watching, not if you are like a pissed off veteran who is pissed off at other people's bad attitudes.
PTSD. Yeah, I want to bring a couple comments up, and then I want to follow up with what you just said about the Apple Store. I really like this comment. I want to address this because it seems like a very important thing. We need to
let's do it.
Put a pin in this one, huh? So the thing that I recognize here is there's a slight miswording, and maybe that's the reason why every Marine of the Quarter has been a turd sandwich and less than stellar at their actual job. Is because they weren't the retired Marine of the Quarter. That's probably why. So there's a big difference. It's a very big. I mean, it seems like it's minuscule, apples to apples, but it's not. It's totally different.
It might be. Also, Marine is capitalized, big dog. Come on now.
Yeah,
you should know better than that.
That's the other thing. I was going to let you catch that one. And then what are the other ones? Still a lot of good people. Most people have no sense of welcome, Corey, and also welcome Tim Burton. Love to have you guys here. Narcissistic titled peoples piss me off. Yeah, so I want to follow up with what you were saying, because it's a very good point. And I spent the majority of my time in Vegas. I mean, I'm like this either way. I try to be polite as possible to every single person I see, whether it's a stranger or somebody I know or an acquaintance. I was holding doors and holding elevators and riding the elevator the extra 2 floors up because somebody pushed the wrong button to go back down another 2 floors. In those specific kind of situations, in most situations, but those specific kind of situations, I like to go way out of my way to be kind to people, because you never know who you're talking to. That's kind of my perspective. Is like, you don't know who you're interacting with, and you don't know where you may or may not meet that. Like, I think a lot of people were like, yeah, I'm never going to see this person again, so the hell with them, screw them, whatever, they can go piss off. You just be careful, man, because you never know when karma is going to come back around and like meet you on the other side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? So I try to keep my karmic debt way down. I like my karmic credit score to be way high, like 800s, 900s if I can.
Nice.
That's what I try to strive for, is karmic score. Credit score is one thing, but karmic score for me is way more important. And then the other thing I want to say is, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's on Prime, on Amazon Prime. And I just came across it the other day, and me and my wife sat down and watched it, basically the full season over the last 2 days. When we eat dinner, we sit down and watch a show or something like that. It's called Jury Duty.
Oh, yeah.
And if you haven't seen it and you want to get a kind of a really good, interesting insight on how to be a better person, this particular show, I know they have another one called was it the Business Getaway or something like that? They have a second season, but it's a totally different concept. Office Retreat, something like that. But this Jury Duty one was really, really good. They just basically take a whole entire set of actors and film producers and people, and they stage this whole entire courtroom trial thing. And then they dropped one regular person in the mix who had no awareness of anything that was going on and thought it was just like filming a documentary. I don't want to ruin the punchline of it, but it's a great insight into human behavior and how humans think and how people react in situations on the fly, especially when things are really, really weird. I liked it for that perspective of it, and it had a really nice ending to it and conclusion, and it was a pretty cool show. If you haven't watched it, I highly, highly recommend it. It's a great show to watch.
Hell yeah, man. I'm gonna check that out. I think I saw the other one that you were talking about. It wasn't Jury Duty. I know about the Jury Duty one. I was thinking of the other one. It's like it's a setup and they have like one guy who's there and he's like not in on it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on a second. Let me pull this thing up here really quick. Does it come up? Will it come up? I don't know. Let's see.
Give it a minute. Give it a minute.
Here, give me 1 minute here.
Give it a minute. Mike Tyson does have some great words of wisdom for real life. He's actually got some.
I got to look those up, man, because I almost feel like those are kind of deep for a Tysonism, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the man is deeper than I thought he was.
In America, we're really good at blowing things up, but not so good in knowing where the pieces will land. Mike Tyson.
All right, so I'm trying to find this. Let me see if I can just open it up, and I'll just share the screen here because it's not coming up for me for whatever reason. But as I was outside that Apple store, I was just kind of waiting, right? And I think Mo Perspective brought it up here pretty well. Sometimes I'm open to have conversations waiting in public, but I look around and everyone is consumed in their phone. So I was outside of the Apple store, kind of sitting there, and I didn't have my phone on me. I just had of course, right? I took it in for service. I only had this thing on me and my book. And I look over and there was another gentleman there who I guess his wife was inside perusing the Apple store and he was just kind of sitting out there. And I'm like, well, and I just sparked up a conversation, man. I'm like, hey, what's going on, sir, man? How you doing? I didn't call him sir because he looked like my age or younger, right? I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? You waiting? You waiting for your phone too? He's like, oh yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, man, you look familiar, dude. Like, do I know you? Like, did you ever serve or anything like that? And he's like, oh, no. I'm like, where the hell do I know you from? And hold on, let me pull this thing up here. And he's like, oh, I'm a pitcher for the Padres. And I'm like, what? So this guy is Wandy Peralta. He pitched last night for the Padres. And I'm like, no shit, Wandy Peralta. Well, and then we got into a little conversation there, man. I was like, man, the Padres, huh? It looks like sounds like a fun job to have.
All right.
And he's like, oh, it's okay. It has it's a good time. So I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. So you never know who you're going to meet if you don't open yourself up. Everybody else who was kind of around there, sitting around, was consumed on their phone. And I just, not that I did anything special. I just wanted that human interaction, right? Like, hey, they're both dudes, he's in there waiting for his wife to look around for whatever she's looking around for. And I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? You're waiting around too? Let's, what do you got going on? What do you do? So I shook the man's hand. I was like, hey man, hopefully you give me some good luck and I give you some too. So unfortunately the Padres lost. Maybe it wasn't that much good luck.
No good luck to be found.
Yeah. But no, that was cool. Wandy Peralta, pitcher for the Padres, waiting outside the Apple store. We were just talking there. Both without phones, just having real genuine human interaction. He was not by any means, he was not a bad person. He was great. You wouldn't expect that from folks, who make millions a year, and these athletes who make millions a year. But he's a very down to earth guy. Very cool. Yeah,
awesome.
he did. He does serve. He served 3 strikes. Yeah, but not enough strikes, man. No, good dude, man. Good dude. Now I'm like, I was watching the game yesterday. I was like, is Wandy on there? Is Wandy, so um yeah, good dude, man.
Yeah.
But that was
I do want
kind of
to
fun.
I do want to pull up some military stuff. I mean, we are on the military retirement podcast.
Let's do it.
And I found a couple cool things and I wanted to share with everybody. And it's really just basically 2 things. If you are a retiree veteran overseas and you happen to be in Italy, Germany, I know there's some folks out there that are watching the podcast and listening to the podcast over here as well. I've been putting the word out as much as I can. So I know there's a handful. But for those of you who happen to be in the greater European or OCONUS region, including the Pacific, I believe, and you need to get your stuff together, they have announced that Vera, which is basically the virtual appointment system for the VA, is online for people overseas now as well. So that QR code there is an international QR code for Vera for international appointments. If you need to make any appointments through VA specifically, you can do your virtual appointment scheduling and contact through that. I'll leave it up for a second if you need to screenshot it or something like that, or you need to share it with somebody. And then you've got an email down there, omsceurope.vbaco@va.gov for any questions. I just wanted to share that with people in case you're trying to get virtual appointment stuff or virtual stuff taken care of with the VA, which we don't really have VA centers over in Europe. There's one in the Pacific, but I believe it's in the Philippines. And any other VA facility overseas, I don't know where they would be found, at least outside of the United States overseas. Like, I think there's one in Hawaii as well. Not sure about Guam and all those places, if there's one down there, maybe in Puerto Rico, huh?
Could be.
But yeah, just want to throw that up there for folks overseas specifically. And then there's another thing that I just saw pop up actually today, and something that we've been talking about. If I can get the stupid tab to switch over. So we've been talking about this, the Richard Starr Act. I know you brought it up. You've been tracking it online for quite a while. Yes. And I guess Hegseth, our buddy, Pipin' Pete Hegseth, or Pistol Pete, has jumped in the ring and put some support behind the legislation. It says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has thrown his support behind proposed legislation that would give combat wounded service members who are medically retired from the U.S. military their full retirement pay and Veteran Affairs disability compensation. So basically, if you don't know, if you're medically retired, they don't give you the option to get to the point where you can have both your medical retirement and your VA compensation together at one. I think it's a dollar for dollar trade-off. And with the Richard Starr Act, Major Richard Starr Act, they would be able to bridge that gap and go back and try to take care of, I think it was, 50,000, 54,000 veterans to get their retirement pay and VA pay concurrently. So that's good news. It's not passed as of yet still, but it's getting a little bit more support, and they're trying to get that bill over the finish line. So they're still going back and forth about the amount of money they're going to have to spend, where that money is going to come from, if they're going to take it from the retirement pension, military retirement pension fund that they have, which is over, billions of dollars, or not, or they're going to put the money from somewhere else. I think that's the biggest hurdle right now, but it's good to see Pistol Pete in there fighting for vets.
I like Pistol Pete.
Pistol Pete.
No,
That's fine.
this is let me see. Let me turn this thing on real quick. This is good information to have because I know they have been fighting for that for a long time.
Yeah.
These service members that are medically retired and not receiving their retirement and their VA disability concurrently. It's one or the other, right? Whereas if you do like 20 years plus in the military, you get both your the 50%, as long as you're under the high three, the 50% of your retirement pay and your full disability, whatever you rate.
Above.
Med- medical retirees don't have that. Now, I'm curious. This is one thing that I don't know how they're going to come up with these numbers. I don't think that they would get the 20-year retirement 50% rate. So what if somebody is medically retired at like, say, 6 years in the service? How do they calculate that retirement rate? Now I know there was things back in the day called like Terra, like the early out retirements, where you could retire at like 15 years, and I think they give you like 30% retirement or something like that.
Mhm.
I'm wondering how they're going to calculate that because I don't foresee that being 50% retirement if you only served 6 years, 8 years, or less than 20 years, right? Any point less than 20 years. So
Right.
I'm curious to see how they're going to calculate that.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not sure what the medical retirement rate is. I think it depends on what they rate you for that
Mhm.
specific medical retirement purpose. So, like if it's like a leg injury or something like that, and the medical
Yeah.
team says, "Okay, we want to process you for MEB, medical examination board," and they rate your MEB cause at like 70% or whatever, then they give you that amount of money. And then you can also then
Mhm.
apply for regular VA benefits from the VA.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they're saying it's like if you're rated at, I don't know, 20% retirement for, the rest of your life, and you were rated at say 80% for your VA stuff or 100% for your VA stuff, they'll take that 20% out right now. And I guess what they're saying is we want to backfill and give back that 20% that you're owed or whatever it happens to be from the retirement side. And then just kind of offset that cost. And then moving forward, that'll be the precedent, right?
Okay. So that makes sense. That
I
makes sense.
think that's what it means. You're more legally intuitive than I am with this stuff for sure.
I can be, however, I need to read about it first before I can speak intelligently on anything. Or
Right.
if not, I'm just putting out as good information as would be something on AI,
Yeah.
i.e., cat videos
Jaffo.
on
Jaffo.
Facebook. Yeah. So, Mo Perspective. Wow. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming aboard. Thank you for being a member. There is something here that I wanted to bring up, and I'm looking for it. Oh yeah, good old Nightmare Before Christmas over here. Tim Burton, 8066. Topic for discussion: the newer generation of veteran has no need or little use for the VFW or American Legion due to older generations lacking the ability to change to the growing needs of today. So Tim Burton, we've talked about this quite a bit on the podcast, on the YouTube
Mhm.
channels, and how the VFW specifically has been losing membership. I mean, this is across all. I just had to talk with somebody yesterday about this, who recently did a talk at a VFW with a group of folks, and how when he entered this VFW, there's people, these older Vietnam veteran era folks who have their set seat at the bar. And like, you don't sit in Jim's seat or whatever, that's where he's going to be at all times. But the thing is, there's the GWAT era folks are now retiring, are now leaving the service or have left the service already. And I feel like there's more of a gravitation towards nonprofits than there are VFWs and external nonprofits, than VFWs, American Legion, and all that stuff. So the numbers are dwindling, but there is something that's happening with that. and I don't want to speak too much about it right now. I'll give you a little bit of insight. There is a gentleman here in California, a retired Navy SEAL, who's going to be running for VFW commander of all of California. He's currently a VFW commander for a post here in the San Diego area. So his idea is to make the VFWs wellness centers, health and wellness centers. You go there for maybe treatment, like maybe chiropractic treatment or acupuncture or yoga, meditation. They would have roundtables, just talks, people, just a place for veterans to congregate that is not revolving around the bar culture. I don't know too many GWAT era folks who are heavy drinkers and want to be at a bar every single day. I know I don't want to be. Anytime I walk into a VFW, I am by far the youngest person there by like 20 years, so it's a different culture now. So this gentleman's looking to, first off, he has an uphill battle because a lot of the folks up top are the older folks who are maybe like from the Vietnam era, that type of thing. So he's got an uphill battle to go with that one. But I think by turning it into more of a wellness center, I think it will spike memberships. And I even put it out there. I was like, hey, look, VFWs should have like a podcast studio in the back, like an office you set up, you pay by the hour to rent a studio. I think that would be awesome because look at how many, damn near everybody has a podcast these days. That is what is going on now, like a YouTube studio podcast. Have that in the back of VFW. I promise you, your numbers are going to spike, man.
No. And even if you could do something beyond that, like I feel like getting people to come to that, even if you had the resources set up, getting people to come in there, I feel like it would take like a fixer, like a person on the ground who would actually be able to walk people through and hold their hands and show them. Because a lot of people, they may have ambitions to do this stuff, but a lot of people are afraid to get in front of the camera. A lot of people are afraid to sit in front of a microphone and do this for 30 minutes or an hour. I was talking to a really good buddy of mine. I won't put him on blast, not yet anyway. Recently retired, and I've been bugging him for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years. I was like, hey man, whenever you're done, whenever you hang it up, I'm waiting for you. You can come on the show. I want to chop it up and see what you've been up to and reconnect with you. So he actually reached out to me the other day when I was in the States, and he's like, hey, you got time? We can do a call. I was like, yeah, sure. So we got on the phone and we talked on FaceTime, and we talked for about, I don't know, an hour and a half. And at the end, I was like, see, man, it's not that hard. He's like, man, it's not my thing, man. He's like, I can't. He's like, I can get in front of a theater full of soldiers and do my thing and be effective and drive home the message. He's like, but this kind of stuff, like this interacting and diving deep into my feelings and diving deep into emotions and opening up the kimono a little bit and kind of, being vulnerable. He's like, it's not really, he's like, I can't see myself doing it. He's like, I've thought about it a lot, but it's not something that I think I could just do, even if it's just pre-recorded or whatever. So I feel like it'd be nice to have a hand-holding person on the ground who could actually like walk people through that process and show people how to do it. Because for us, it's kind of second nature now, right? We've been doing this for a while, a few years, and we've got all the gear, and we've tinkered with the lights, and we've messed with the sound and figured out what, software we need and all this stuff. But for somebody just coming into it, it's a little overwhelming. Like you got to know a few things, and it gets to be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It can be. And it's not for everybody. Like I know we've talked about it before, like the first time I ever went live, and I'm sure, John, you have experienced this too. It's a little nerve-wracking. You just don't know.
One person watching.
Do I look here? Yeah. No, like zero people watching. I'm talking to myself on this camera
for like 2 hours.
Those are, yeah, exactly. Maybe I stop it after 30 minutes, right? I'm like, yeah, nobody's coming. But that's the price you got to pay. I think in order to get, once people start seeing you come on repetitively and consecutively week by week, then you're going to start building something, but it's not for everybody. Like, same as you, man. The amount of people I talk to, they're like, "Hey, man," I'm like, "I'd love to have you in the podcast." Like, it's not my jam, dude. I'm like, "All right, well, that's all good." More like they want to stay private. They're retired now. They just want to do their own thing. That completely understand that. I respect that. But I do enjoy, same as you. I do enjoy talking to folks.
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, right on. Clean Climbers. Yeah, I was speaking to this gentleman. Yeah, so he has he's going to be doing something with YouTube now. He's part of an organization called Claim Climbers, and we're going to be, I guess he's starting up a YouTube, and we just exchanged some emails on this stuff. So
Sick.
potentially on his show soon. Give me 1 second here. I got to turn on this Wi-Fi thing.
Anytime, Tim Burton. That's what we're here for, man. We read the chat. Sometimes we miss a couple chats because they go by so fast sometimes, and we miss them. But yeah, we try to get all of the chat and try to respond to everything. And the ones we don't respond to, we just let Navy Cop handle that. He's in the background, chatting it up.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, it's this is all great stuff, man. I'm getting just a flurry of text messages, and I don't know what people are just like. They're just coming through since I just got this new phone, or what?
Where's your son at? Have him put the phone down so he can listen to Spotify real quick, and then have your wife just back out of the garage. Take care of all
that. Dude, when I saw that, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Because you're backing up in the garage, and then like it was on top of something else, and then and all of a sudden, like you're backing up, and you feel, and I'm like, "Oh hell no!" And I have mirrors in the garage, right? Like, for working out and stuff like that. I have the home gym there, so I have mirrors there, and I look over, I'm like, "What the hell did I just?" Oh,
your ceiling mirrors didn't catch it, huh?
My ceiling mirrors, this guy. No, in the garage, dude. Really? Yeah. That's some sweaty stuff, man.
Yeah, you're laying down on the bench, man. I mean, that's the perfect shit. That's the perfect angle.
No, man. Hell no. Oh man, the perfect angle. Yeah, I keep my bed in the garage.
Yeah.
New topic. All right, right on. Let's see. Tim Burns. You should be the topic master, man. Let's see. I did not know that you had that feature, man. We need to use that a little bit more.
I got it on my little Zoom thing.
Next time Tim Burton calls me out for being a shitty a shitty person, a shitty Marine, we'll, yeah. New topic: space aid travel would be great if covered international flights for 100% PNT vets, not just retirees. Thoughts? So do they not already cover 100% PNT? I thought they did. Does it not? So I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that. This Marine does not know, but he will find out. I'll put it like that.
Outside of, there you go. I fixed it for you, Army Grunt. All good. Don't worry. Gotcha. So not outside of, so let me see if I can word this correctly. So I'm being very PC about this answer. Domestic only, yes. 100% PNT, yes. Outside of CONUS, which is kind of a touchy topic, and I forget if it includes Hawaii and Alaska, because people flame me on Reddit about it sometimes. I believe, well, let's just say anything CONUS, and we'll leave Hawaii and Alaska out of the mix as if they don't exist, and also U.S. territories down in the Caribbean as if they don't exist. And we'll just say anything CONUS. So we'll just say Europe and the Pacific Theater, meaning Japan, Korea, etc. If you are not a retiree and you're only 100% PNT only, 100% PNT veteran, then you can not travel to those locations. You have to be a retiree, 20-year retiree for right now. I don't know if they'll ever change that. But also at the same time, like a lot of those flight paths that they've had, they've kind of shrunk them down a little bit because of operational buildup because of things going on, because lack of people flying on Space A. They've cut a few of those routes out so they don't have the same routes that they've always had. We do have, what's the name of the Ebby Travels?
Ebby Travels, yeah, that's right. So Ebby
Yeah.
Travels.
So if you want to get the
give him
scoop,
a quick
yeah.
shout out.
Yep.
So
if
he,
you want to get the scoop.
I don't want to cut you off, man. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Go.
No, yeah, Ebby Travels, man. So this guy is still deployed. So this Army captain who created this this platform called Ebby Travels, EBIE Travels.com, and this dude essentially consolidated all of Space A's into one platform, and he pulls every 20 minutes it will pull information from the terminals to show you any updates, and it will send you, if you opt into it, it'll send you a daily email on your chosen routes that you want to fly out of and fly into. Like, let's say I wanted to fly out of the West Coast and to, I don't know, Europe or something like that. It'll send me daily updates on that, those, any changes, any updates or anything like that. It is free for 45 days if you wanted to try it. And of course, this man put his heart and soul into making this. So, you know, he does charge a little bit after the fact, after the 45 days. But if you want 20% off of that, just use code green logbook in all caps, and that'll give you 20% off of that service. So, but yeah, definitely want to support this this Army captain for making that, man. Awesome stuff. Ebby Travels. Ebby Travels. Named it after his daughter, Ebby.
No. So yeah, 100% PNT. Yes, you're pretty much stuck to the continental United States and potentially Hawaii and Alaska. If I'm not, but I'm not going to say that that's the truth. Go check that. Go do your own research. But that's basically it.
Just putting this on here, ebbytravels.com.
Ebby Travels, and then we also have a couple videos on the show about how to sign up for Space A if you need to figure out where to go and where the form is and how to look up stuff on Space A. We've got a couple videos on Space A as well in the catalog. Just search Military Retirement Podcast Space A on YouTube and you'll find it.
Absolutely. Yeah, all good stuff, man. Great questions. Great questions. Yeah, you're invited back anytime there, Tim Bird. You're bringing us some good stuff on here. Claim climbers, yeah, in Florida, if you go on vacation, 100% vets get free parking up to 6 months in garage, no less. Nice. Not to mention zero property tax. That's right. That's right. Now, if only they could offset the cost of home insurance in Florida. That is what's messing people up. That is what's messing people up, man. It's getting to the point where it's starting to get expensive, man. I mean, back in the day, I think our first home in Florida was like $99,000. And now it's like, yeah, I mean, that was back in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, nice area and all that. And then things have shot up significantly to include home insurance, to include property taxes. You know, if you're 100% PNT, yeah, you don't have to pay for those things. Yeah, I mean, same, like California is not there yet, I don't think. They tabled that SB 296, I think it is. They tabled that property tax exemption for 2 years. It's not off the table, but right now there is a percent. You get like a percentage off of your whatever your house costs, and they knock off a little percentage off of that for property taxes in California. So it's like one of like 5 states that still charges property taxes. So getting there, not there yet. I have no reason to leave California right now. It's actually, you know, a lot of people call me crazy, but it's actually a lot more cost effective for me to stay here than go anywhere else, given the job situation and what the houses cost all over the place now.
Yeah. Plus, I think a lot of people don't take in consideration. Depends if you got that kind of perk built in, like if it's a government job and they pay you to PCS move. But if they don't pay you to PCS move, I was just having this conversation with my mom the other day, and I was like, "Look, you're not like." She was like, "Yeah, I should move like 1 floor down." She's on the top floor, and she was like, "Yeah, maybe 1 floor window down so it's not as noisy. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, don't even think about it. Don't even think like you think it's just one floor and you're just moving a few boxes downstairs. Like that's a lot of work and it costs
Yeah.
money. And then you gotta pay the deposit again and get the deposit and do it. Like I was like, don't even do it. Like it's not even worth it. Like, you get the best view in the whole apartment complex. Just leave it at that and be happy with that. And don't try to
Why
move.
did you want to move?
For reasons, man, for reasons. And I just tried
Yeah.
to I had to talk her off the ledge, and I was like, look, no pun intended, but I was like, look, you gotta you could just stay put, stay where you're at, just chill.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Just deal with it. I think maybe it's because of the steps or whatever. I was like, it's not any
Mhm.
better on the first floor. I'd rather deal with the steps and hold the rail than listen to people's pitter patter over my head
Oh,
constantly
dude.
all day and night.
Mm.
So
Yeah. I'm there with you.
yeah.
I'm done with that apartment life, man. I was once on the first floor and it sounded like they were vacuuming at like 1 in the morning. And I did the old thing. If you ever lived in like I grew up in Jersey, man, you know, and if somebody upstairs is making some noise, you take your broom and you hit upstairs. So that's exactly what I did. It didn't stop, so I had to go upstairs and like politely introduce myself. Hey, my name is Vic, and I live downstairs. And you're vacuuming at 2 in the morning. Why? So just as politely as I could, right? I'm not going to confront somebody like that. But after that, it stopped, thankfully. So I don't know what the hell they were doing at 2 in the morning. Maybe like their Roomba or something. I don't know what. But since then, I've stopped living in. Stopped living in apartments.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and either way, just moving in general is just a really expensive thing to do.
Oh, dude, such a pain, man. Such a pain. I've wanted to move to, buy another place and just thinking about it, like how we've settled in here and, I had put everything in boxes and then you got to fix things up if you want to rent the place out. And like, oh, it's just overwhelming to think about it. Like you don't have the movers anymore like you do while active duty. When you're active duty, you have the movers that come in and put everything in boxes for you. That's several thousands of dollars. Like I've never
Oh, yeah.
paid for a move. I have to believe that it's several
a
thousands
lot.
of dollars to do that.
It's a lot.
Especially if you're moving somewhere like Hawaii or like overseas or something like that. I have to imagine that it is way more expensive than.
Yeah.
So we thought about it. We're still thinking about it. Probably downsizing a little bit as the kids get older.
Well, it's just a mental tax too, right? The mental tax that you got to pay for packing and unpacking and redecorating and putting furniture back together. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work that you don't need to put yourself through if you don't need to put yourself through it. If it's something like, oh, I just found a job and they want to pay me like $500K and it's in Virginia and it's like they're not going to pay for the move, but they'll give me a 50,000 stipend up front. Like, okay, do it. Like whatever makes you happy.
Methany. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Methu and Methany. Probably doing something like that. Yeah, flood zones. Yeah, we're Central Florida. Okay. It's because of the hurricanes. Yeah, I know. I'm also I grew up in Central Florida myself, so I know all about those hurricanes and boarding up the windows and stuff like that. So I know all too well. But then when I lived in North Carolina, they had us get I forgot the name of the insurance. It was because we were east of the 95. We had to get, I think it might have been flood insurance.
Probably.
But man, it got a little expensive.
Coastal flooding insurance, something like that.
Yeah, probably something like that because we were right next to the water over there in North Carolina. Like, well, it was by Camp Lejeune, right? So it's like you're close to it. But I don't know. I never experienced flooding, thankfully. So
yeah, flooding sucks, especially if you got a basement. Not fun.
Yeah. It was who was I? I was serving with it was a master gunnery sergeant. And this guy, I was in his office and he got a text and he's like, and he stood up. He's like, what the hell? And I'm like, and he didn't say what the hell. He's like, what the, so he's like, hey, sir, give me a minute here. Let me, and I stepped out. So come to find out, the guy who was renting his house. Like he sent him a picture of the guy's like second floor, like a hole, just like caved down. Thank you. Appreciate it. The second floor just broke. And like there was like the insulation and crap was like just showing, and he's like, what the hell happened, man? And I guess there was like some bad storm and something happened to the roof too, and it was like just coming
Caved in.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, caved in. And he's like, oh hell no. He's like, oh man, it was bad. It was bad. He showed me the pictures. It was like, oh man, it was some gunny that was renting it.
Yeah.
Renting it from him. And like the guy's not at fault. It was just that, the structure was not sound, I guess. But yeah, stuff like that happens. Thankfully, insurance covers all that stuff.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, most of the time, right? Until they don't,
Okay.
and then there you go.
Yeah. Had to deal with that before too.
Yeah. But speaking of Space A, I'll have some more information on Space A this summer. This is the summer that I'm going to be attacking this Space A thing. So I'm going to take it as far as I can. The thing that scares me about Space A is you have to, like, you don't know where you're going to stay. You have to make, you don't know if they're going to have room for you. You don't want to lock on, lodging prior to. So it's kind of like, hey, once you're on that manifest and you have seats, you jump on Airbnb or jump on the hotels and then just lock something on there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what scares me. Claim climbers. I have to fly, Vic. My mom is here and she's 85. You have to enjoy that while you can, bro. Speak soon. Have a great day. Yeah, absolutely, man. Go enjoy your time. Great stuff. Claim climbers. Yeah. I'm shout out to that guy, man. We exchanged some emails. Speaking of quick shout outs. So John, I don't know if you want to jump in on this. It's during a Monday, but I got a hold of Clay from the Civ Div.
Yep.
Dr. Sharma from Concise Psych, Bill from the Salty Old Marine, and Raider HQ, who I don't know Raider's real name, but Raider from HQ, Raider HQ. And it's going to be on Memorial Day. And we're doing a roundtable live stream on Memorial Day. They prefer the evening. So I don't know what time. We still have to lock that on. And I am also looking to, when we do the whole monetization, and sometimes they get like, we get people who donate funds and things like that on the live streams. I'm looking to lock on with a nonprofit, veteran nonprofit, and donating those proceeds, whatever we make on that live stream, towards a nonprofit. So, and we're not talking anything specific. We're just going to be talking about, our time in service, and it may lead into something like VA claims and stuff like that. But we're just going wherever it goes. Nice conversation. Yeah, nice conversation. Memorial Day on evening. Okay. Yeah, Monday. It's going to be on a Monday, so it's going to be 25th. Yeah, I just shared some emails with these guys, and they're all for it. So I'm like, hey, let's get a round table going and just have a conversation, just talk. And if you want to circle me in on the emails, man, that'd be awesome. And I'll see if I can make it there. Yeah, there was a lot of pushback with that too. With I won't say any names or anything like that, or any call out any channels, but there was a lot of pushback on. I had included one channel, and then I retracted that name after I was essentially blasted on this person's channel. So again, I won't say any names, but it doesn't sit well with me. And I'll put it like this: I'm not a big fan of online skirmishes or just petty quarrels when it comes to YouTube. I'm a 40-something-year-old man. I don't deal with garbage like that. So it's I'll keep it at that. So if you are listening, or if you know who you are, if maybe you've listened to this in the future, you know, you have my email, and come direct to me as a man.
Do I need to queue up my Dr. Dre album?
No, I think we're good. I just have to get that out there because sometimes
Nowadays everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, is that coming from you or Eminem? Were you actually playing Eminem there?
No,
Oh,
that was
okay.
me. That was me. That's all me.
Oh man, yeah, U.S. Army grunt, man. I do appreciate that. Yeah, and come through, dude. The stuff is still in the works. I sent out the email. Folks, I'm still waiting on one or two, you know, but folks said for the most part they're down for it. Just spoke to Clay from the Civ Div not too long ago. He's like, yeah, I'm down. But the thing is, he goes to Arlington National Cemetery, you know, during the day for Memorial Day, which, you know, a lot of us do, and not to Arlington, but, you know, a veteran cemetery.
Mhm.
So, you know, we may have events going on during the day. So most likely at night. Concise Like also mentioned that he has stuff with his kids. So most likely at night. So probably, I don't know. Maybe I'm shooting for 6 p.m. Pacific, which is, I'll just kind of throw that out there.
Yeah, all
Because
good,
it's a
man.
Monday. I don't really have anything going on, you know, after hours. So we'll see.
Yep. Yeah, if we can get it scheduled maybe a week or two prior, that way people have enough time to share it and get it, invite all their friends, and
Yeah,
be sick.
absolutely. Is this SS Gunny G? Hey, welcome, man. Ross, sir. All right. Glad to catch you live. Rob back. Good to have you, buddy. Yeah, Mo perspective, man. I agree. John came with it. I was, you know, I honestly was taken aback, and I was like, hey, wow, am I listening to the real Eminem here, or is this John? You know, I wasn't sure.
It's the J&M, not the Eminem.
Oh, shoot, man, this guy. But yeah, man, all good stuff. All good stuff. Yeah, it's
No knife hands.
tomorrow I'll be putting out a video. I'm working on editing all that stuff right now, but look out for that one. It's about life lessons or lessons learned that I brought from the military side to my civilian side. You can't really go half your life in uniform without putting something in your back pocket and putting some kind of, you know, leadership lessons and quotes and things like that in your back pocket to remember and reflect on as you continue living your life. So that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. There's one specifically that I'm going to be mentioning on there about a general officer who did something that was pretty incredible. You don't see something so small, but it meant so much to somebody else. It was pretty amazing. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. What am I reading here? Are the topics set or available from the crowd? I'm curious for the need to sensationalize or use scare tactics to advertise their videos. No, yeah, we can talk about it. I mean, if you got some time, John, we can talk about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I made a whole video on that stuff, on fear tactics and the psychology behind it, and why it causes us to, you know, to stay engaged and click on it. It all goes into the idea of what you are invested in, which in this case are like veteran benefits, and the potential of getting them taken away, and how those things are advertised through thumbnails, through the way that they are talked about on YouTube or online, or, you know, whatever, TikTok or whatever you watch. And if somebody keeps you in fear of something, then continues telling you, hey, this may happen to you. There's keywords: this might, this may, this could affect you. Those are keywords that will keep you sucked in and engaged.
Fear mongering. There you go. Said it, took the words right out of my mouth, Mo.
Fear mongering. Yeah. Exactly. That's
or,
what it is. That's what it is.
or potentially gaslighting.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a whole lot of that, and that goes around online. There is a channel I came across, and I can't remember the guy's name, who whose whole channel is just talking about other YouTube channels, and then that's his whole thing. He'll like choose YouTube channels like in the veteran space and just kind of put them up on his
Light
thumbnails.
them up.
Yeah, and either light them up or talking about what they're talking about. And I'm wondering how that works with using like somebody else's likeness, like legally, right? Using somebody else's likeness um, to gain monetary value for your channel. Because that's exactly what this guy's doing. He's using
Yep.
these bigger YouTube channels to and the thumbnails to gain viewership and subscribers, and potentially leading to monetization or monetary value. So I'm curious how that works. I'm going to actually write that down in the legal space. Let's see.
Pneumonia and mental health. Do any exist? Psychological studies on pneumonia and mental health. That's an interesting question. I haven't personally come across any. I don't really read the studies so much as I read like the literature and the kind of textbook stuff for psychology, and then some woo-woo off the wall psychology stuff as well. But I haven't come across anything that's linking pneumonia and mental health. Have you? I haven't seen anything like that.
I have not seen that one. No. Psychological studies on pneumonia, no, and mental health. I'm sure that there could be a link to there, but I'll write it down. I love reading about this stuff anyway, so it's not anything that's going to take me out of the fight or anything. It's just pneumonia affecting mental health. I mean, it could, because if you get pneumonia, you don't want to do anything. So
Yeah.
I guess that way it'll affect mental health.
Yeah.
Yes, no perspective. I agree. Thank you. Yeah. What is your favorite disability myth that circulates in the vet community? Mine is, if you have PTSD claim, they will take your guns. Well, I know many folks with PTSD that still have their guns, I think. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a good, I have not thought about that. That's a good question.
If you poke the bear too much, then they'll lower your VA rating.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you try to do an appeal or something like that, if you're already at a certain level.
Now there is a little bit of truth to that, but I feel like maybe I don't know exactly what the repercussions are of this, but if you do poke the bear, right, you have 100%, maybe you're not P&T and they could be reevaluated. Then if you get reevaluated and for some reason it comes up as that you're better, you could potentially get lowered.
Yeah.
That could be there could be some truth behind that. That's a good one. The favorite disability myth that circulates in the vet community. I don't know. I have to think about that one. Good question though. I keep seeing Staff Sergeant Gunny G, but it's not Staff Sergeant, it's SS Gunny G. What happened to the good old days of vets helping vets? It seems the YouTube space has become infested with the new age looking to come up on the backs of fellow vets. I have seen that myself. I have been a part of that on the crappy end of that, which hence what I just mentioned. But yeah, I've seen that myself. I don't know. But there are a lot of good channels out there that are helping other vets as well, and they do mean well. And I think that the ones that I contacted to do this whole roundtable are in that space of doing good for fellow vets, both educating them and contributing towards connection. So let me see. Newspaper articles to help in a claim. Good question. I suppose you could, because usually what's reported on newspaper articles, if it has something to do scientifically, they most likely will reference it towards something else. So one thing will lead to another. But if you're talking about just like an opinion piece, I don't know if that would help.
I think it would be okay to use it to tie it to service connectivity. If, like, say you were in a newspaper article in this time and date on this specific newspaper in this location, maybe.
Yeah.
And something happened to you, like you got injured or got, something happened.
Yeah.
I would see that as a good use case for that specific thing.
Yeah. So I think Navy Cop brought up. That's exactly what I was getting at. Thank you, Navy Cop. Peer reviewed versus option or opinion. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good one too. More perspective. When I was active duty, if it was, you will lose your top secret clearance if you go to mental health office. Lots of suffering with our intelligence guys because of that rumor.
Not true.
Yes. Also not true, but that was heavily circulated around the ranks too.
Yeah.
I know of a lieutenant colonel who did not go seek mental health and confided in me as, a chief warrant officer, and talked to me about stuff. I'm like, hey, sir, maybe you should go seek mental health. He's like, fuck. So
I did the test,
it's
and the test came back inconclusive. You can go to mental health and hold it top secret.
There you go. You heard it from the man himself, the chief of observations.
Experimented it.
Peer reviewed versus opinion piece and less opinion piece. So one thing that is coming up into the space, John, is the use of psychedelics in veterans. And I know that I mentioned that there was a very good documentary that I watched called In Waves and War. It was a documentary on Navy SEALs who were dealing with a lot of mental health issues. And, they mentioned the VA was not helping them. And then they got a hold of, I think it was through Stanford. They were doing a Stanford study on mental health, and they were sent over to Baja California to a location down there, some kind of a research place, and they were given ibogaine and some kind of serum from the back of a toad, and that actually made them feel a lot better. So you'll see, if you watch the documentary, the contrast between how they felt beforehand, how some of these folks were like, man, I think daily about taking my own life, to afterwards, where they're like, yeah, I haven't thought about that at all. Like, they feel great.
Yeah.
It's really eye-opening. And the idea that the VA is now going to be looking at something like that, potentially ibogaine or other psychedelics that could help vets out, that is not just throwing, hey, take some Motrin, take some whatever the hell this is, Adderall or whatever. It feels great that we're actually looking at alternative medicines rather than continuing to fill people's cabinets with pills. So definitely a good documentary, In Waves and War.
Yeah, they're doing a ton more research now lately with psychedelics, and they're starting to do, I think, some clinical trials. I don't remember. I know we talked about it a few weeks ago. and I'm always in the mix of keeping up with that stuff, and very, very interested in seeing where it goes and what happens with it. But yeah, if they can get to the point where they can get that at least scheduled down to like a Schedule 3 or something like that federally, and then be able to move from there, because that's kind of the tipping point, right? Is when you get something on a Schedule 3, which has happened with marijuana, but it's only in a state by state basis. It's not a federal Schedule 3 drug, right? Or is that wrong?
No,
It's
no, no.
federal.
They just signed off on it. Now they're waiting for the DEA to actually change it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3.
Okay.
But yeah, it was signed off. It was signed off saying that this will be Schedule 3 federally.
Nice.
So now that's not to say that the military is going to allow that.
Well, so that would be my follow-up kind of like comment / question. I was reading a few Reddit posts recently, and there was one that popped up, and it was a guy who had was in the Air Force. And some stuff happened. Anyways, he ended up popping hot on a urination test at MEPS, and he was like, "Yeah, what can I do? I really want to, change my life around and go back and see if I can get in the military and make this a career and make it my career for the next 20 years or whatever." And a lot of people were giving him flack about it. And I was like, well, I mean, technically speaking, like, it's legal in the state that he might have been residing in, right? Just because it's not legal in the military. And I guess it goes back to this kind of myths thing that we just talked about, where they were like, well, yeah, you won't be able to hold a security clearance if you popped hot on a piss test at MEP station. And I'm like, I don't know if that's entirely true either. And then they're like, no, well, it only applies if you're a TS security clearance, because they got to do a poly and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know if that's entirely true. Like, there's waivers for stuff. And then there's also the fact that if you're honest about it and you've done it in a legal, so I guess maybe that's my kind of roundabout question, is like, if you were doing marijuana legally and you were 18, let's just say you're 18, fresh out of high school, doing marijuana legally, and then 6 months later you decide, oh, I want to get in the military, and you go to the MEPS and you piss hot for marijuana, let's just say, can they waive that? Does it make sense to waive it? What are the ramifications? Because legally, they can do it in, say, XYZ state, whichever state they happen to be residing in, which is almost all the states now. But then they want to join the military and then they piss hot. How do they handle that? They still just treat it like, okay, well, UCMJ says you're not supposed to use illicit drugs, and it's a schedule whatever drugs. So,
yeah.
But if they move it down to a Schedule 3 drug and it's a prescribed drug, then that kind of goes out the window, right?
I don't know that marijuana is going to be prescribed yet, as far as we're talking about like psychedelics and stuff. I've not read anything about it. The only thing I read about was the ibogaine. However, it was what's the VA secretary's name? He just came out on the Sean Ryan show about why it's taken the VA so long to actually look at this stuff. Very good information. I'll tell you from
Doug
Doug Collins. Yeah. So I'll tell you, living in California, having done like separations and stuff, heading up the OIC of separations and investigations and all that stuff on my side. I will tell you that it doesn't matter that California accepts marijuana, and if you do it and you get caught, you piss hot on a urinalysis, you're going to get sent to an administrative separation hearing. You're going to get brought up on charges for Article 112 Alpha, which is drug use. Now, when you get sent to an admin board, you sit in a courtroom setting, essentially, right? It's a non-punitive hearing, and your case is heard by 3 members: one field grade officer, one company grade officer, and one senior enlisted, E7 or above. And then you have to kind of plead your case against the prosecution or against the government. So I was always on the government side, saying, hey, look, this guy did drugs. He should be kicked out. Essentially, go through a whole voir dire process to make sure that we didn't have to kick any of the members off and stuff like that. But I've seen countless of these, and the argument never came up, oh, we're in California, so it's legal, because we all know that it's federally illegal, right, at the time.
Right.
It doesn't matter the schedule. It could be something like, hey, this guy popped on something. It is a Schedule 1 controlled substance, Schedule 3 controlled substance, whatever it is. And then, of course, the nanogram level comes up on your analysis. So I took a tour of the Naval Drug Lab here in San Diego, and they told us how they tested 3 times just to kind of sift out any potential errors,
false negatives,
and then
false positives.
false positives, and then they send you a drug lab results with the nanogram levels, and whoa, dude, it's like I've seen some crazy nanogram levels when it comes to like cocaine and stuff like that, like methylene dioxymethamphetamine, meth, or amphetamines, like folks who maybe are not prescribed, like Adderall or something, and then they were intaking that. So we have a list of the medications when they go to these boards, and then we compare that to their nanogram levels and stuff. But as far as like specifically speaking to marijuana, I think unless there's like some kind of order, either an executive order or something in the UCMJ that changes that says, hey, look, we're now allowing marijuana, though it is a Schedule 3 substance, it is still illegal in the service unless it gets prescribed to you. If you can compare that prescription to that nanogram level and say, oh, okay, he was prescribed, then everything works. Now, one thing I do see coming up, if they actually get prescribed that stuff and they're using it, is how much is prescribed. If they're prescribed, I don't know what, I'm taking it back like high school days. If they get prescribed like like a dime, I don't know how you.
Let's just call it 100 grams.
Yeah, if you get prescribed a certain amount, and it'll say in the instructions, similar to like when somebody's
recommended dosage, etc.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to compare that. Okay, well, you are way over the nanogram level, way more than you were prescribed per day or whatever it is, or as needed. Those are also words that are tough to, in the legal realm, when you're doing drug stuff, is as needed, because what if you need it every day? What if you need it every hour of every day, So smoke a key. Yeah. I don't know what that means even. A kilo. So you have to look at that, if this stuff becomes legal in not in the US, in the military, like, you're going to have folks coming into work, like, high off their mind and not able to work effectively. Like if you're working on aircraft, on vehicles and stuff like that, probably not able to take it. But time will tell. I'm very curious of how this is all going to work out. Yeah, because there is that comparison.
Yeah, and I asked the question because there's other medications that are way stronger than marijuana on the market that people are prescribed, that people take for things like anxiety, depression, different reasons, and even sleeping medications, right? Some of those sleeping medications can make you really, really woozy and make you do crazy things, especially if you then mix them with things like alcohol or whatever. Put your passion poison together. But I'm wondering about that, and just if it becomes Schedule 3 and if it becomes a prescribable medication federally, then it kind of throws out in my mind, it kind of throws out the whole thing of like, and it again, it has to adhere to the guidelines of here's the prescription, here's the dosage, here's the recommended daily intake. It has to be prescribed probably by a medical doctor in the military at that point. I don't think you could just go out on town and get it. You possibly could, but it becomes a whole nother ball game, right? Turns into a whole nother conversation.
It does. And I can foresee a lot of regulations coming up, a lot of shifts in the UCMJ when it comes to drug usage, especially with the psychedelics and all that. Now, the psychedelics are just, as far as I know, for the veteran community, like to assist the VA with the veterans, right? Now, the VA doesn't really work with the active duty community. They usually work with like Army medicine or Navy medicine, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think Air Force has their own doctors, so I don't know that that is going to affect it. So, and I'm reading SS Gunny G's. I was a SAC in the Marine Corps. Alcohol is infinitely worse than weed, in my opinion. Now that no longer active, I have a whole new change of heart in regards to Mary Jane. All right, so marijuana. I would agree with you that alcohol is a lot worse than marijuana in the military. Traditionally, especially in the Marine Corps, right? I mean, we have those running jokes. The Marine Corps was born in a bar, right, in Tun Tavern. So that is our past to continue drinking, right? And people, a lot of folks drink in order to get away from toxic leadership, negative experiences, things like that.
Toxic relationships.
Toxic relationships, things like that. So it's very prevalent in the military. Now, I mean, doing it in moderation is okay, and I don't know exactly how they're going to implement marijuana into all this, maybe in moderation.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what was UCMJ like whenever there was prohibition for alcohol back in the 20s and 30s? And looking it up, it looks like Secretary Navy Joseph Daniels made the Navy dry in 1914, and in 1917, 5-mile alcohol-free zone was created around military installations. That's just one little example. So yeah, interesting.
That's going to be rough for the Navy there.
Well, again, I was thinking like, okay, what's a similar thing? Prohibition is very similar, where alcohol was banned for a certain amount of time. And I was wondering if the military took action immediately and banned it as well. And it looks like they did, creating dry zones, creating bans on alcohol, specifically for Navy. Canteen Act that restricted alcohol in canteens. World War I era regulations strictly prohibited alcohol, et cetera, et cetera. And the Army Selective Draft Act prohibited sale, possession, and distribution of alcohol at military posts and made it illegal to sell alcohol to anyone in uniform back in 1917. So interesting to see what's going to happen.
So while you're reading about that, SS Gunny G, I like your the fact that you were a SACO in the Marine Corps. I have a very good experience with one of those urinalysis tests. I was going in there to go get, you got to sign in with the SAC or whoever's doing it. Find your name on the list, give me your ID card, put it in this box, take out the bottle, make sure there's nothing inside the bottle, look at it. I always turn it upside down or whatever. You can't blow in it or anything. Put it up there, hold it over your shoulder, walk to the head or walk to the bathroom with whoever the meat gazer of the day is, right? So you're walking to the bathroom, and it just so happened to be this Lance Corporal. And I'm sitting there and I put the bottle on by the sink. And I go, hey, so what happens if I have to make a sit down head call? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, do you have to watch? And he's like, I don't know, sir. I think I do. I'm like, okay, let's do it. It didn't happen. I was just messing with the guy, but he was all prepared to do his duty in watching. And per the order, you're supposed to watch the fluid leave the body per the order, right? So I'm like, hey, you got to make sure that you're watching. All right, Lance Corporal. So, but no, it did not happen. It did not happen. I just went as normal. But Good stuff. But he was ready to do his duty for his country, man. You don't have to be a case.
He said duty.
Oh man, Navy cop man, always
Beavis and
put me in
Butthead.
my place.
That's love me some Beavis and Butthead. They have the old Beavis and Butthead, like the 40 or 50-year-old Beavis, I guess 40-year-old Beavis and Butthead episodes. Some, I don't know who made them, if it's still Comedy Central or whoever did the episodes.
Yeah,
Funny.
I do enjoy them.
Funny shit.
I'm just reading some of the stuff.
Yeah, we are. That's 100% true. I can verify that.
Spanish during downtime, they started cracking open beers today. Well, I have to believe that, you know, in those instances, like maybe it's just like when I have been around like drinking cultures, like in the US, right? Like specifically in the barracks, not as I got older, you know, it's just drinking socially here and there, but in the barracks, when you would leave work, and I recall a whole line of barracks rooms, folks doing this same thing. You leave work, and immediately when you get into your barracks room, you crack open a beer and just drink immediately. And I was never a big drinker, but then I had asked the guy next door to me, I was like, dude, you do that every day. Why? And he said, well, if you are intoxicated, then the duty cannot ask you to do anything. You know, like they cannot be like, hey, you know, we need you to do this and that. You're already intoxicated. And I'm like, okay, smart, but also shitty, you know? And so everybody, like people started catching on to that because one time the duty came by, like, hey, you know, we need somebody for A duty or whatever, you know. I guess the guy didn't show up or something. I don't know. And they just grabbed somebody, like, hey, you're on duty now. You know, get in the barracks, get in the duty hut. And from then on, it was like everybody would just crack them open and just drink all night, man. I'm like, man, it sucks. But the thing with that, with the Spanish military that I saw, I feel like at least the people that I've been around, I don't know that they would just socially drink. You know, it's like just pounding one after another, and it would. I mean, especially my younger years, right? And I'm like, you know, we just, maybe there's a different culture out there where it's like, hey, just one or two drinks, just, you know, casually. Whereas, you know, in the military, from what I remember from back in the day, it was like just smashing beers, man. And I'm like, it's not the same thing. It doesn't feel like it would work out the same way. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong or different perspective.
No, I mean, I did a bunch of deployments and exercises in Europe, and whenever we would be out with coalition forces, whether it was like the Brits or at some point we did some Polish exercises, did stuff with Romanians and other forces, and you would see some of those forces would actually have rations of alcohol, liquor, or whatever it was for even in a deployed place like a peacekeeping mission like a Bosnia or a Croatia or something like that. So it wasn't uncommon to see it, but it was uncommon to see any Americans trying to get anything like that. Probably the closest thing would be like a near beer or something like that. But yeah, we are one of the few. We are one of the few that I've observed out of all the militaries that I've observed that don't have some sort of at least minimal casual drinking kind of thing available to them, even in deployed state.
So Japan, when you walk out of any base out in Japan, out into the community, there are vending machines out on corners that sell beer.
Yep. Same in Germany.
Yeah. So why don't we have that in the US?
I'll see
Like,
why
why?
not.
I mean, really, anybody in the comments? I think it's because it would be abused.
Well, they don't have any way to regulate things like that in the US. In Europe, for sure. I don't know how it is in Japan, but in Europe, for sure, there's ways to regulate what you can actually get out of a vending machine. So, say it's a cigarette vending machine, like you have to have your ID, it's scanned before it'll let you put money in to be able to buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the beer thing was not, because the legal age for drinking was like 16 or something like that. So, nobody really cared. But yeah, I think it would be. I think for sure. I agree. I think it would be abused heavily.
Yeah. So like when I first got to Japan, like just to do it, I was like, wow, they sell Asahi beer and like Sapporo and these vending machines. Cool. You know, I just bought one to try it. Yeah, everything, right? There was like corn drinks. I'm like, what is this? Pocari Sweat, all these things, right? So it was just to buy it, I bought it. It was ice cold, came out of the vending machine. I didn't, at the time, this was like 2011. I didn't have to, scan anything. I just put my yen in there, and then my yenjimins, I put them in there, and then just it came out. So simple as that. But yeah, I can see that, like how it would be totally abused in the US. I mean, it's a different culture here, different culture.
Yeah. I don't think we'd be able to handle it.
Yeah. What is it? What's this guy saying now? Vic, you're suspect. And I know you have played. What is Edward 40 Hands, man? I'm please explain this. I gotta look this up, man.
I love the fact that we have Tim Burton with us today. That's amazing. He's giving me giggles all day. All day. The all day giggles.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see. All right. Gotcha. I can neither confirm nor deny that, Tim Burton. I will say that young Marines do silly things. There may or may not have been an instance where there was a trip to Home Depot to purchase a large hose that would span 2 floors in the barracks with a funnel to funnel beers from 2 floors up. There may or may not have been that instance as young Marines.
Beverage transport system.
Yeah, and the thing with beer funnels, I can only imagine, of course, because I cannot confirm or deny this, that when you pour beer from the second or even third floor of a barracks, it will gain such speed on the way down that it will blast the receiving person in the face and causing them to choke, and you have to have a lot of confidence in the people who are pouring this stuff, because you never know if they're going to be pouring like Jack Daniels in there, pickle juice, things like that, watered down mayonnaise, anything that can fit into this stuff. So it is, these are games that are played, I assume.
Liquid dropped from a 3-story building. Sorry, I gotta just do the math on this because I need to know.
No. You only use bagged wine. You pour the bag into Ziploc bags.
So it's 9.8 meters per second is the rate of gravity. I've got that. Time to fall 1.4 to 1.6 seconds. Okay. Final velocity, no air restrictions. Not bad. Not bad. 15.3.
It does gain some speed, I assume.
Yeah, gains a little bit of speed. And time to fall from the top to the bottom floor would be approximately 1.5 seconds on average.
Yes. Something like that.
Sick.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty and candor. Yeah, Edward 40 Hands. Yeah, I really didn't know that was the name for it. I looked it up here. I was like, okay, duct taping 40-ounce bottles. You can't do anything. I've seen that before. I've not ever done that before. But
words matter.
Yeah. There's a whole Reddit on this. Men who've successfully completed Edward 40 hands. Terrible. Terrible. You guys are bringing the best out of me and the worst. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about drinking games. I'm not. I can't get into this. But great stuff. Great conversation, man. It went from lessons learned after the uniform. I suppose the lesson learned here is don't do some of the things that you used to do while you were in uniform as a young Marine. That is a lesson learned. Yeah, Mo perspective. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I got to share some of these stories with my kids. Yes, I do. I have some of them written down. Yeah, I definitely will.
Yeah, I'm at the
some
point
of
where
them, some of them, exactly. Yeah, and some of them, the statute of limitations have not been reached yet. So some things you cannot share. Just kidding. It's been released into the universe. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, but no, hey, great stuff, man. Great conversation. And I really enjoy talking about this, the community that we're building here. I would say that, we do have a good group of folks that come in every so often, and like I've not seen gentleman Tim Burton here before.
Nope.
But great conversationalist, great topics, so definitely welcome back anytime. Apparently I'm Edward 40 hands, so you have just opened my eyes to new perspectives, young sir. And Uncle John is taking notes, so you're cooked, Vic. Oh man, I'm cooked. Yeah, I see John fucking writing everything down, man.
Told you, man. Copious notes all day.
I got you, my man. I got you. I got you right here too. Notes all day on all this stuff.
I've been writing them in pencil, so you can't see them when I hold them up to the camera.
Oh hell no.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Tricks. Corey 777777. Also a couple new faces. I like that. I love the conversation. Love the questions. I love the chuckles that I've been having today. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
So real quick, I'm going to answer Tim Burton's message or comment with 3 words. I can answer your question with 3 words, sir. 29 palms. End of discussion. End of discussion. And he's an 03, he says, so he knows about 29 palms. It's a training base, right? 29 palms is no go. No go. Sergeant Stacking, my man, welcome. Have you seen Sergeant Stacking's YouTube channel?
I've seen it. I think I've watched a couple things here and there on that. I'm not actively tracking it every single day, but yeah, I've checked it out a little bit. Good stuff going on.
Yeah, he does some cool stuff with some precious metals, man. I told him that'd be cool to do a live stream while he's like pouring some metals. Maybe when he pours like an EGA, Eagle Glow and Anchor metal, or like the Iwo Jima flag raising or something like that. That'd be cool. We can do something like that.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Q&A while pouring metals from a 3rd-story building.
Q&A while pouring metals from a 3rd-story building? No. I don't know if you want to pour hot metals while you're on a Q&A, just talking.
I mean,
drop some on your knee. Oh shit. Stationed in the stump for 4 years, dude. My condolences, sir. I tried very hard. I got orders to 29 palms at one point, and I was like, oh, damn, because you know how people switch things up on you. You talk to the monitors or the people who do the moves. Hey, you might, I'm looking at Camp Pendleton for you, man. And, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Or I'm looking for Hawaii for you, man. All right, cool. And then you get a call the day before. He's like, hey, man, I couldn't make the moves, man. It's I got to send you to 29 Palms. I'm like, whoa, you were just talking to me about Hawaii, dude. So, yeah, but then you got to pull some strings, man. I have never been to 29 Palms, or I've been there to play softball. I've not been out there stationed. So, fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hell
Sick.
yeah. I love that. Love that. Yeah. Well, good stuff, man. I don't want to take more of more time than needed. I know you got stuff going on, John, as well.
Yep.
So it is also my Sunday too. So I want to spend some time with the family. I do want to give a shout out to some sponsors. I just renewed a sponsorship with American Fidelity Life Insurance. So
Nice.
check them out if you're looking for life insurance. American Fidelity Life Insurance is awesome. Folks have a long lineage of military history in the firm, and if you're looking for life insurance, we just had the VP of American Fidelity Life Insurance, the executive VP, on the Green Logbook recently, and we talked about life insurance and how it could benefit you and how you can transfer over your SGLI and roll everything over. So good stuff, very good stuff. We already talked about Ebby Travels, and if you're looking to do Space A, check out Ebby Travels. Use code Green Logbook for 20% off after your 45 days. Your free 45 days expires. Of course, the military retirement group. Yeah, still taking folks into the military retirement group. You don't have to be retired to join.
Nope.
You can join the group. I'll add you on there. And easy as that. Good conversations. Sometimes I share stuff about the channel here. So about 3,000 folks strong there.
Mm-hmm.
So navigating the military to civilian transition. Awesome stuff. Then we have MVMT Financial. So run by a gentleman who is an Army retired gentleman who is a financial strategist, Josh Cantrell. And he can help you along the way if you have any questions or need any assistance in your finances. MVMT Financial. He's there for you. Who else do we have, John? Who else? Anything coming up?
Wild Bills. No, I just I'm looking forward to the round table, and hopefully I can make it there. I will try my best to get out of whatever I need to get out of to be there, even if it's at like 1 or 2 in the morning. I will try my damnedest.
Oh shit!
So
yeah. I'm kind of working off their timeline too, because I don't have a lot going on a Monday night. Just time with family, but I can carve out about 2 hours one day a week to do this on Memorial Day. So good stuff. Aside from that, tomorrow I'll be dropping a new video. I'm working on it right now. Not right now, but after this, on leadership and things that I've carried on from my military career over to my civilian life, with careers, with goals, with fatherhood, with being a husband, a good friend, etc., a good veteran in the community. So I'll be dropping that tomorrow. So look out for that. We are, I think. Is it? Let me see. I'm looking to see how long this person has been a member here. Hold on. Where are we? Dashboards. Here we go. Members. Give me 1 second here. I want to give a shout out to some of the members Mo Perspective, thank you for joining in and being a member. Let me see. We got Boston Rob, Lima Hotel, T Saints 852, Oliver Russ, my man, Mr. Chuck Carl, Hellfish Haven, 355 Mile Guy, Arubis Moon, and Mo Perspective. And leading the pack right now is Navy Cop, 11 months as a member. Navy Cop, man, I do appreciate you, buddy. Good stuff. And once you hit the 12 months, dude, you got to give me your shoot me an email with your mailing stuff, your mailing address, and I'd like to send you a little something as a token of my appreciation for supporting. Let's see. Oh yeah, these cats got jokes for days, man. You got to love the vet community, dude. You know, we can give and take, and you know, you don't take it personally. It's just it is what it is. It's a backwards law. Vic is thinking too hard. Watch out. Yeah, my head started to hurt, man. You saw that? The vein pulsating on my forehead. What's 1 + 1? You know. Let me see. Can you fit 20 acres of Idaho backcountry in a box? You know what? What I can do is I can send you a certificate like those. I'll name a star after you certificates. I'll just name 20 acres of Idaho land for you via a certificate. It may not. It may be as worth as the paper it's printed on, but I mean, I can send you a certificate if you'd like. You know, name a star after you. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, never mind. It's an awesome thing to do, guys. I promise.
I didn't gift it to myself, but I have one. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty neat. And then I also thought, yeah, it's probably not legit. But nonetheless, said thank you, and I was appreciative, and it was a kind gesture.
Of course.
Thought that counts.
It was like a there was something for sale a while back. And not to digress into this real quick, I just want to bring this up. They were selling land in Scotland. Land in Scotland, and it was an inch of land, a square inch of land in Scotland. You essentially, they name you a lord when you own this land.
A square inch.
A square inch of land in Scotland. Look it up, and people are buying this up. I'm like, what? There was also somebody from England selling English countryside air in a jar to, like, their biggest buyers were coming out of China. English countryside air in a jar. You open it up and the people, I don't know what you do. You open it up, you smell it. Like, I don't know what that is.
Like Irish Spring. I already have that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the gel, the douche, like what? Yeah. That's what it says in the bottle, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. I already have that. I have the Irish Spring.
Yes.
No, I don't use Irish Spring. Even if they were a sponsor of the podcast, I wouldn't use them because I don't like Irish Spring.
I love Irish Spring, dude. Come on now.
Yeah.
I like the way it smells. I don't like the chemicals.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me is the chemicals.
So, what is your bath douche of choice?
I don't actually know the correct name of it. I just know what the bottle looks like when I see it on the shelf. And it's actually just shampoo. And I use it for everything. And it's amazing. When I'm in the States, it's what I buy. When I'm here, it's what I buy. If I have to take some with me somewhere when I travel, it's usually find it in like the African hair aisle, and it's made of coconuts and some other stuff. It's really, really good. Smells good, works good. There's no chemicals in it.
Is it a light green bottle?
It's a clear bottle with a beige peach label on it and some cursive writing on it. And I totally couldn't even tell you the name of it, but I know exactly what it looks like. I can spot it from 6 miles away in Walmart.
I think we might be using this. I use that, something like that, for like the face hair.
Yeah.
Because it leaves it soft.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of
shampoo,
it though.
and they have conditioner as well. I think it's like hibiscus and coke and something like that, something crazy. But it's really good. Smells good, feels good. I would say it tastes good, but I haven't tried it yet. So
Oh gosh, what the hell is it called?
no idea. See.
Oh no, it's not. It may not be that one. The one I use is green. It's called Shea Moisture.
No, that sounds familiar, but I don't think that's it. But either way, it's good stuff.
Good. Glad you guys aren't sharing makeup tips. No, man, can't do that anymore.
Nope.
I did have to use that one time. There was a bit of a scuffle at the barracks in my younger years, and I tried it at one point. I'm like, I had to just to kind of touch it up, and I'm like, no, this looks like crap, dude.
Ding, ding, ding. You win. It is Shea Moisture.
Shea Moisture, dude. I love Shea Moisture. Yeah.
1912. Great stuff. Great product. I wish they would be a sponsor of the podcast because I would push their stuff everywhere. It's and literally you just get the shampoo and you can use the shampoo as body wash and it's the same. It's amazing. Me and my wife have arguments about that all the time. She's like, you need body wash. I'm like, nah, I got this one little bottle. That's all I need for everything. Granted, it costs like $10 a bottle.
Yeah, it can get expensive. What the hell are you talking about, Navy Cop? You missed when the Green Law Book short where Vic was putting on his face while discussing very important topics of the day. Oh man. Yeah, I don't recall that. Maybe I was under the influence of joy. All right. So with that, John, yeah, I want to be respectful of your time, man. Really quick, I want to tell you about this book that I'm reading right now, and one that I was just gifted as well that I'm going to jump right into afterwards. Right now, I am reading Haruki Murakami, What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. Very good piece of gear. I like the way this guy writes. Very easy to understand, very easy to read. Good flow, so in the mornings I like to read more of like the technical stuff, a little bit more like leadership stuff. In the evening I'll just kind of dive into something like this where it's kind of like easier going, more of a novel type of writing, like a journal is what it reads like.
Yeah.
And then I was just gifted this, What to Make of a Life by Jim Collins. I know of Jim Collins. Jim Collins wrote Good to Great, and I have that book as well. But this one's Cliffs, Fog, Fire, and the Self-Knowledge Imperative. So I'll be checking this one out. What to Make of a Life.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm waiting on. I got one book that I need to dive into after I get all my homework done, so I can see if I can link up for this interview on Thursday with an author, and then I'm waiting on the new Robert Greene book to drop. It's on pre-order right now.
Which one is that?
Please hold while I put that information. Audible, and then I just finished a funny little book. It was kind of had some nice insights to it, called I Deliver Packages in Beijing. Interesting book. Quirky little read, but it was all in all great book. Well, I have my library open and I can't see it. Audiobooks. Okay, let me go here. Robert Greene.
People got jokes, man.
We're not trading.
I promise you. Backwards law. I promise you, I can. Yes. Tim Burton. That man. I think I have seen something like that too in the field. That's disgusting, dude. I watched a Marine brush his teeth with a rifle cleaning brush during jungle warfare school. I got a VA rating for it. Did he like put CLP on it, or was it just actual toothpaste, man? Because that's ugh. Anytime I look at that brush, I wonder who has forgotten their brush out in the field and actually brushed their teeth with this, because there's two sides to a rifle
Yep.
cleaning brush.
Yep.
You know,
The
so
little side and the
oh,
bigger.
that's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Nice. Robert Greene, The Law of the Sublime, scheduled for November 10th of this year. So later on in the year.
Oh,
Another 700-page book.
so Robert Greene is not he's not a psychologist. He is, but he writes about these books that are like just filled with this information on it, you know. And I mean, he studies it, right? But like educational wise, I think he's got like a degree in literature or something.
Yeah. Thanks.
But amazing how, you know, you just similar to like what Seneca wrote on here, right? Like you dive into something, you become an expert in that, and people seek you out for that. So very cool stuff. So I'll leave folks with this, with that same message that we kind of opened up with from Seneca's Shortness of Life, that reads: the energies of lions and other animals are restricted by cages, but not of men, whose finest achievements are seen in retirement. If you have this same book, it's on page 77 on the bottom. We are not restricted by cages. We have much more to give. You are a wealth of information, and don't forget about that. Pass the information forward. Are you paused? Oh, I thought you locked up, man.
I'm not paused. Just sitting here being quiet.
No,
yeah, thank
meditating.
you, everybody. Yeah, meditating in public. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here with us. We really appreciate it. Love the camaraderie. Love this community. Love that it's starting to expand a little bit, slowly but surely, the way I like it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate every single one of you. It's been really, really fun. And if you need to find us, we're here every Sunday pretty much, unless one of us is on an airplane like I was last week. But other than that, we're here. We're looking to get some more guests lined up and do some more offline interviews that we will then post to the channel once we get those recorded and edited. But other than that, yeah, hopefully you walked away with some good information and a little bit of chuckling, and that's all what it's all about. Good information.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate you all. Yeah, make sure if you haven't done already, like and subscribe to both channels, Military Retirement Podcast and the Green Logbook. We'll hit notifications every so often. I'll get my kick and start posting shorts. So make sure you're notified whenever those shorts come out. It's good stuff, good information, good community we're building here. So truly appreciate you all. With that,
Till next time.
out here.
Out here.